talk show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
The G-Man.
Samira Swanee of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website www.pitch-talk.com.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former chairman of Ibis FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk.
The only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam, and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez. My name is Christian Carambeu.
I'm Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former chairman of Ibis FC.
I'm Samira Swanee, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk.
Ladies. Hello, ladies. And gentlemen. What's up, gentlemen? Boys and girls, children of all ages, straight to LJ, the G-Man and Jazzy Fizzle proudly bring to you your Monday night footballing fix. The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions. Why? Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
Yes, yes, yes. We are live and in your face. We are the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions. Remember, www.pitch-talk.com is the official website. Stop by. Pay us a visit. It's all good. Also, it brings me great pleasure to say facebook.com/pitch talk. Become a fan, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution. We are working so hard to create pitchtalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk. That will bring you to the blogs. Blogs by yours truly, straight shooting LJA, the G-Man, Jazzy Fizzle, and many, many, many more. Including Dave Mear, aka at Mearcy on Twitter, Big T, aka Thomas Hewitt, Russ Vernon, and many, many more. Also, at Pitch Talk on Twitter, twitter.com/Pitch Talk. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we are up to. Speaking of what we're up to, I'm going to come back to that in a second because youtube.com/Pitch Talk is where you can find all of our videos. There's all the great footballing videos on the internet, but none are like Pitch Talk videos. The Pitch Talk Meet series, Pitch Talk on the Road series, Pitch Talk at the Cup Final series, Rants of the Week, Push Points, and much, much more is up on YouTube at youtube.com/Pitch Talk. And that is actually where we are live right now. For those watching on the YouTube feed, what's up? Guys, you want to give them a wave as well? You want to give the people them a wave? The people them. The people them.
No, not getting it.
But it's one of them was. We are live and in your face. And big shout out to those listening to the podcast when it gets there on iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, and Spreaker. www.pitch-talk.com/podcasts is where you can find our podcast. All links in one place, one convenient place. Pick your poison. Also, Also, 07 535 804 466 is the mobile number. Okay, that it's on. It's on.
Like Ariston.
Exactly. Give us a call. Give us a call. Call us, text us, let us know your views. Also, might stand this part, you start annoying me.
Attack of the Annoying Poncho. Started. You can see why I don't have on, because I'd had the same problem.
But also, it's one of them ones. Pitch Talk Live on Google Plus as well. You know what? It is one of them ones. Where the show starts to get seasoned already, baby. But you know what? We've been alluding to an announcement on the socials all day. That announcement is John Sitton. He actually, as we mentioned on his Pitch Talk Meets, he's got a book coming out soon. And John Sitton and his ghostwriter, the ghostwriter of his book, Mr. Vernon Grant, will be live on Pitch Talk next Monday night. Former Chelsea, Gillingham, Leyton Orient player, and he also managed Leyton Orient during some of their most troubled times during the filming of the documentary Orient Club for a Fiver back in '95 as well. John Sitton and Mr. Vernon Grant of VG Tips, vgtips.co.uk. If you want horse racing, betting tips, football betting tips as well, vgtips.co.uk is where you need to go for those. But John Sitton and the ghost writer of his book, Mr. Vernon Grant, will be live in studio. Our official first ever Pitch Talk Meets live studio guest will be in the building next week. So make sure you tune in for that. We're going to have, as I said, John Sitton and Vernon Grant in. We're going to be talking about the book. And also, we're going to be getting their views during the show as well. So you know what? Big things are going on for your Monday Night Footballing Fix. Remember, that is next week. John Sitton and Vernon Grant live in studio next week. Vernon Grant of VG Tips and John Sitton, former manager of Leyton Orient. So, it's one of them ones, man. Guys, how goes it, man? How goes things on your side, man? You might need to push that camera towards you, Jesse, so we can see a little more of you, man. It's one of them ones, because we want to see a little bit more of you, baby. Make sure, there we go. But how goes it, guys, before we switch into the first segment of the show?
No, weekend was good. I mean, I was saying off air, you know, I happened to spot a certain Mr. Redknapp over the weekend. Other than that, no, it was really, really good. Shout out to my good friend Jermaine. Shout out to the clique. Jermaine, happy birthday, happy belated birthday. Nothing but love, man. Yeah, and overall, as I say, it was good. It's good, man. Enjoyed myself. The only thing that I didn't like was my Sunday.
We'll get into that.
See, that's how much I didn't like it. Russ is already. Russ. Your user rights and privileges are about to be revoked. Yeah, but no. I didn't enjoy my Sunday mostly because I was hungover, to be fair. And then of course Man United just compounded that. But we will get onto that in results and analysis. So make sure you keep it locked in and locked on for that later on in the show. G-Man, tell us about your weekend, man. How was it?
Oh, the weekend for me was quite eventful. Last week was good. But yeah, the weekend, want to big up, as you're talking about birthdays, want to big up Michael Hitmot, whose birthday it was, went out for it on Saturday, which was quite funny, hilarious, great things happening there. Also,
the stories are brilliant.
Also want to big up lads at Ibis for the match at the weekend as well. But we'll get into more of that later on in the show. And yeah, in general, man, it was just a chilled weekend. And that's all I can say. What about you, Lee?
Yeah, weekend was alright. Actually, working most of it, so it's one of them ones.
Money.
Well, it's one.
Money.
Well, it's one of them ones. Saturday night was one of them ones where, like, yeah, I wasn't too happy for the same reasons as Jesse. Well, same but different. We didn't concede 5. But yeah, it's one of them ones where, yeah, results didn't go our way. With the live bird upon my chest. It's not the result I love the best, so we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, it's one of them. Not too bad a week, not too bad a weekend. Got to see my mum. as well. So yeah, it was good. It was good.
Shout out to your madre, man.
It was good stuff. Love the mums. You gotta love your mums. I love your mums. Not in the way a certain Facebook story came up.
Excuse me?
Yeah, there was a certain Facebook story. Gmail love about a mum and the daughter loving, not just loving each other, but loving each other. It's wrong on many levels. I'll show you the story after. I'll show you the story after. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. But you know what, yeah, it is about that time, actually. Let's give a few shout-outs, actually. Big shout-out to the Section 357 show. Sunday, Super Navajo, Big Shot Ron, and Floyd as well. So one of them was big shout-outs to Finn White Line Magazine. Facebook.com/Finn White Line Magazine. At Tweet White Line as well. Mr. Ian Kerr, what's up, man? Plans are in motion. Plans are in motion. And thank you for those questions. But also a big shout out to Samir Sawney, Director of Motivate Sports and Fitness. Thank you for that advice, by the way. Facebook.com/MotivateSF and at MotivateSF on Twitter. Big shout out to Sophie and Rachel of Girls on the Ball, at Girls on the Ball on Twitter and www.girlsontheball.com. And of course, big shout out to Scotty the Rabbit. Of course. One of them was G-Man, do you want to...
What? Nah. The show must go on.
Yes, the show must go on. With that in mind, it's time for us to pause that track. And with that in mind, it's time for us to swing into the first segment of the show, which, as always, is... results and analysis. It's results and analysis. And where we are going to start, we are going to start. Oh, here we go. I would like to talk to you and debate with everybody here.
I'm sorry, people.
About
I'm so sorry. He is one half of the tag team champions of the world.
Oh, being a wronger, the Bionic Darky. Also Big T too. The Pitch Talk Ruggeds. You know what, yeah? You know what? It is one of them ones where we are gonna start. Why are you looking at me like that for? I don't know. With mustachioed coffee on it, look at it. Tea, man. I see. All I can say is we're gonna actually. It's funny that I instantly looked at Tuesday 16th of September 2014's results and thought of you, because your team is the only one of the teams that we support sitting here that are not in this competition. Yeah. Because we're starting in the UEFA Champions League with Group A. Juventus 2, Malmo 0. I actually posted a video from. Because Carlos Tevez scored on 59 minutes and then scored on 89 minutes. You know what, yeah? I just want to say in regards to this game, actually, the amount of chances that Juve had was insane. But Tevez's celebration, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. This is that. And it's his face. It's like his first, his first Champions League goal in about 2 years. It's whatever. I had to put on my Facebook page that look when your boy's been dancing with a fit girl, and this is just like this celebration against Malmo was just tremendous. It was absolutely tremendous. But one thing that also was tremendous as well, and a surprise: Olympiacos 3, Atletico Madrid 2. Masuaku scoring on 13 minutes. Opened the scoring. Ibrahim Afellay scored on 31 minutes. Milan Mandzukic scored on 38 minutes. And Kostas Mitroglou scored on 73 minutes. And Antoine Griezmann scored on 86 minutes. Now, the Mitroglou one was weird because it's one of them ones. Where was this from? It was... It's good, isn't it? Tevez' celebration is good. Isn't it?
Here it is in
I love
HP.
that. Man is skanking. He is skanking. And he did it again after the second goal as well. It's just that. Tevez spanked it. But Atletico Madrid last season's obviously defeated finalists. It was a surprise to see them go down against Olympiacos. It really was. Surprising. What do you guys reckon?
No, absolutely.
You've got nothing to say
No,
about it.
absolutely. I mean, the shot, it was a shock, and the result went against the form book. But you know, this is the thing about the Champions League. This is about European football in general, whether it's the Champions League or even the Europa League. There were no easy games.
Oh yeah, of course not.
You know, you can only beat the team in front of you, and that's exactly what happened. Olympiacos.
Yeah, you can only beat the team in front of you if you're in the competition and you have a team in front of you to beat. I'm sorry. I couldn't help that one. I could not help that.
Yes, you could have. But Olympiacos.
It's channeling the anger that certain Man United fans
it's
talking
all right.
smack on Saturday.
It's alright.
It's manifesting itself.
It's alright.
Hey, by the way, what's up, Hitman Hinchin? What's up, Jack?
They're gonna fix you. It's all good. But yeah, no. As I say, Olympiacos, they did really, really well. They deserved the result, and at the end of the day, you know, no one can be underestimated.
Swembichoglu was a Fulham as well.
Yeah, he's gone back on loan. I believe.
And it's like, what happened to that them kind of thing them at Fulham?
Well, maybe he didn't assimilate at Fulham.
Assimilate.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly. Can only beat the team in front of you.
Well, I mean, see, that's how.
The guy that said that sounded like he was talking sense.
See, that's how odd the result was. See, that's how odd the result was. It was one of them. It's got me off as well. It was hard.
I'm sorry, what?
Something. Anyway. But you know what? Let's move on to UEFA Champions League Group B. Liverpool 2, Ludogorets, Razgrad 1.
I was going to say, can we not talk about Real Madrid 5, FC Basel 1?
Oh no, we'll come back to that.
Then come back to you with your live Alberta
No,
chest for that
no.
result being the one you love the best.
Don't steal my script today. Disgrace. I'll leave Russ to steal yours. But Liverpool 2, Ludogorets, Razgrad 1. Mario Balotelli.
With the live Alberta upon his chest. No, sorry.
You're damn right. I was going to get on to that. Aye. Balotelli opening scoring on 82 minutes with his first goal for Liverpool, but Abalo Paulos equalised on 90 minutes after. Well, I'll get into that in a sec. But Gerrard scored a penalty after. I think it was Manquillo who was actually brought down in the 93rd minute. For me, Stonewall penalty, and we've already got a text in. Number 07535 804 466 is that mobile number?
Sits.
Yeah.
For John Sitton.
Well, we've got Sits coming in next week, so it makes sense. It's a good link there. See, segues. We work like this. But no, it was one of them. Hey, you know what? Whoever that is, you need to put your name on the end. Remember to put your name on the end of the text. I love it. Carry on, be Hitman you hard with the banter. I think that might be Ken Barlow on Facebook. So big shout out to him. But with Liverpool against Ludogorets. It was one of them ones. I reserved judgment until I watched the match, and yeah, we were poor. There was no end product, and the weird thing is, it's just that it's just there's no cohesion at the back, and the weirdest thing, because the fact of the matter is, that we've changed 3 of the 4 of the back line, and you can see it. There's not that cohesion there. But again, it was one of them ones. I mean, Ludogorets actually hit the post at one point. We were squandering chances. I mean, Balotelli's finish was a quality finish, but the fact of the matter is, the penalty was a stonewaller. I mean, I love the fact that when it happened, I saw Jack Hinchin, aka Hitman Hinchin. He was like, I heard on Twitter it was a super dive, and then I watched it, and then I was like. And I was thinking to myself, Regin, you can't be believing Twitter because it wasn't a dive. The keeper shouldn't have come charging out like that anyway. Because if he didn't come charging out, there'd be no problem. So it's one of them. So it's a case of, what's up, Ken? You right? A fellow brother in red. So who I think will be posting on Facebook as well as texting us as well. So good stuff. But I mean, it's one of them ones with the live bird upon my chest. It's the result I love the best because we made our return to the Champions League after a 5-year hiatus, and we got a win. So that was the important thing, getting the win. So it's one of them ones. We're not clicking yet. We really are not clicking yet. So on them. But Real Madrid 5, Basel 1, and Tom Wood has just said, "Can you win the Champions League?" Not at the moment, but I'm not expecting that.
But I also want to say, I know we're going to talk about Real Madrid and Basel. Yeah, I know we're coming into that, but I have to say, Ludogorets, for me personally, they deserved a point. For me, they played some very, very good football. I even think their goalkeeper, who I think he was like third choice because the first two goalkeepers were injured in
emergency, and we didn't test him enough.
He had a very good game right up until the end. I think, as I say, I think they deserved the point.
There were nerves. The thing is, there were nerves. There were nerves. You could see it. I mean, a lot of those players don't have any Champions League experience, let alone much. I mean, Ken Barlows just said Lallana seems like a rabbit in the headlights for us. I mean, he's settling in. I mean, he's
ask Ken how Deirdre is, please.
It's terrible. Oh, it's scripted ad-libs. But no, it's one of them was where I mean, against Ludogorets, you could see that there were nerves, and Ludogorets have nothing to lose. They're the unknown entity, and I said we shouldn't underestimate them. I said that 2-3 weeks ago because they're the unknown entity. So I think a lot of people were expecting us to breeze past them. I was expecting to win, but in that late fashion, it was a bit nuts. But at least we got it.
And as I say, I think that a point would have been the fairer result. But as I was saying before, you can only beat the team in front of you, and that's what Liverpool did. Yeah. In the Champions League, you find ways to win. Liverpool did. So congratulations to them. But moving on to Real Madrid v Basel. Real Madrid ran out 5-1 winners, and for me, the pick of the goals was Gareth Bale. I mean, if you want to talk about techers, if you want to talk about technique, if you want to talk about pace, power, precision, skill, that goal had all of that.
Yeah.
Had all of that. And, you see how mighty Real Madrid are going forward in all of their goals. They were decisive and incisive. And, they were literally scoring at will for me. But you also see how weak they are defensively. Because even for their goal, the one that they conceded against Basel, they were opened up with a very, very nice passing move. But again,
they were slicing Basel open at will.
No, I know.
Real Madrid were legitimately mocked.
No, I know.
It was a battering at the Bernabeu. It really was.
It was.
Unlike Liverpool Ludogorets, in which Mike Hardiman has also said Ludogorets look decent. They look good in the qualifiers as well. I think they deserved a draw out of the game. They played some good stuff.
Yeah.
So it's one of them was Basel just looked cleanly overmatched, and Ludogorets, they held us. They held us. They did well.
But yeah,
Basel, aka the fake Barca, with that kid.
But you expect Real Madrid to come out and do that, and that's what they did. But again, the worrying thing for the other Madridistas that aren't Atleti fans, and shout out to one of our fans who's also an Atleti fan, that's Miss Irene Bonilla. Hola, ¿cómo está? But no, seriously, is their defense, their backline. How are they getting pulled apart like that and being ripped apart on the counter by that Basel team that they're currently battering 5-0? How does that happen?
Yeah.
So they really need to go and sort out that backline and get them organised. And go and progress in La Liga this season. Even the Copa del Rey.
Well, I was going to say sorting out backlines is kind of going to be a theme with certain results.
Well, yeah, I know where you're alluding to with that, but
no, it's one of them. It's one of them. Brethren, I'm not just pointing those guns at your boys. The same could be said for us as well. So,
but
I'll leave that one.
Going with that, it kind of echoes the whole sentiment of a lot of players at Real Madrid who were upset when Xabi Alonso was there. So did the two coincide, him leaving and them being, even more shaky in defense? Possibly. but something to something to look at. But let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's groove on to Group C with Benfica 0, Zenit St. Petersburg 2, Hulk scoring on 5 minutes, and Axel Witsel scoring on 22 minutes. Moraes was sent off on 18. I just like saying Axel Witsel. I just like saying it. Monaco making their return to Champions League after 9 years. Last time they were in it, they were semi-finalists. No, they were finalists, weren't it? It was finalists against Porto, wasn't it?
With Morientes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Monaco won by Leverkusen 0. João Moutinho getting the only goal of the game on 61 minutes. G-Man, next result's yours.
Borussia Dortmund went 2, Arsenal 0. And I've got to say, it was a very disappointing result from Arsenal. But in saying that as well, it was never going to be an easy game, as Dortmund, have the pedigree of being a good Champions League side. Immobile scored.
Immobile. Ciro Immobile. The name just doesn't do him justice.
Ciro. He scored on 45 minutes, just before the end, just before halftime game, and then Bamiyang scored on 48 minutes, just as the second half begins. And you know what? Just dissecting that first goal by Immobile, it was a lack of concentration. Also, Arsenal were playing poorly, in fact, in the first half. Passes weren't going. There's a lot of indecision from the midfielders. My personal view was, we were playing Arteta as a holding midfielder, but he needed extra help, and he needed someone to drop deeper with him, like Jack or Ramsey, or even both of them at times. But their indecisions where they went to push further up just left him stranded at times, and there was a lot of gaping holes in the midfield. And that's where that goal basically came from, because Immobile, he basically was one-on-one with I think it was Kieran Gibbs, and he skinned him and then slotted it past Szczesny, made it 1-0. And then the goal for Aubameyang, I gotta say, was, I can't remember, something Grotz, a wicked ball by Grotz to outside of the boot, and Aubameyang skinned Szczesny, who came flying out. I don't know why he came flying out, because as a goalkeeper, and I don't know how you can attest to that, Liam, as you being a goalkeeper as well, would you go in for that sort of ball?
No,
never catching that. Never getting that.
Mad. It's one of them ones.
But yeah, that through pass, I'm just watching it now. Fantastic.
It was disgusting.
Fantastic.
Absolutely disgusting. And it was disgusting just like Arsenal's defending. But yeah, in terms of that, Arsenal lost 2-0. Am I upset about the result? Yeah and no. I've got to say, that was going to be the hardest game of our group, and I'm expecting us to pick up against Galatasaray in the next game.
I hear that. I mean, I was going to say, speaking of Kieran Gibbs, G-Man Jezzy, speaking of Kieran Gibbs. No!
No, that is cold.
No, sorry. In the disclosure video for you and me, I swear the girl in it looks like a female version of Kieran Gibbs.
That is cold. But the other day, you was telling me she was buff.
What? No, mate. Nah, it's one of them. I see Kieran. I see Kieran up in the video, man. What's going on there? Dude's wearing a blonde wig. What's going on there, man? He's appearing in music videos.
You know what? That is a good lookalike.
That's a very good lookalike. That's up there with my Phil Jones, Ella Jones, Phil Henderson.
How many lookalikes have you got with Phil Jones? It's like Lukaku looking like a hench version of Danny Welbeck with his hair. With the hair as well, man. It's the hair that does it. But it's just, oh, look at that. Oh, man. But you know what? Mike Hardiman, you wanted to jump in on Arsenal Dortmund.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree with G-Man, really. I think the play from Arsenal was very, very sloppy along the back and, all throughout midfield as well. I think the passing, every time Arsenal were trying to play it around, the balls literally ended up going straight to one of the Dortmund players, and it was getting so frustrating to watch. It really was. And I kind of agree partly, but I kind of disagree partly with what G-Man was saying there as well about it being the hardest game, because on paper, yeah, fine, it's the hardest game, but the amount of players they're without as well, no Royce and a couple of other players that were missing, I think it's a game that we could have gone out there and at least got a point from, and it's a point better than what we got.
Yeah. I mean, I see it as one of them ones where, see, that's how you know Dortmund are a very good team. Under strength, without a few key players, still got the result. So, can't underestimate him. And it's one of them ones wanting to show that bounce back ability, the bounce back ability against Galatasaray. It's not going to be no walkover either, because Galatasaray won and Anderlecht won is our next result. Preit scoring the first goal of the game on 52 minutes, and Burak Yilmaz scoring on 91 minutes, the second goal of the game, to equalise. And it's one of them ones. That was one of them where the goal was coming. You could see it. It was just when. Not a case of if, it was a case of when. So it's one of them ones. It's an interesting one. But I mean, moving on to Wednesday, 17th September 2014 in the Champions League again. And just before we move on, the text from Ken Barlow has said, surprise about Arsenal really, for once they have no injuries and depth. So that's an interesting one. I mean, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. Bayern Munich 1, Man City 0. Jerome Boateng, formerly of Manchester City,
Golazo!
only goal of the game on 90 minutes, and it was a fantastic goal. I mean, it's one of them ones for City, for Manchester City. It definitely is a case of life sucks, and then you die. In terms of the performance they put in against Bayern Munich, I saw the highlights of it, and it was that. They were holding on, and then Boateng, bang, like Sillet. It was one of them ones. It was just Boateng. Wow, Boateng, bomba, rumba. It's like, where did that goal come from? I was close to saying that at the time as well. It's like, when I saw that goal, it's like bomba. It's like, but the fact of the matter is, it on the night, it was going to take a finish like that to beat Joe Hart. Yeah, it was, because he was in inspired form. But there is one criticism being levied at Yaya Toure from Paul Scholes, as it happens, that he looks disinterested, that he lacks interest. I think that's a little overly critical this early in the season. Maybe after 10, 15 games, if his performances ain't picked up, then yeah, fine. But Paul Scholes recently has been coming out with a lot of talk. Is he trying to make up for his career where he barely said anything? You'd think he was a deep voiced ginger mute. You would have thought that, but I don't know. Do you guys agree with that? Do you guys agree with that in terms of the Toure thing, lacking interest?
I have to disagree with that. I think you have to look at everything else that's happened in his life in the last calendar year.
Right. So the birthday cake thing.
And his brother as well.
Nah, his brother way more than the birthday cake thing. And you know,
I thought that's where you were going with that.
No. The birthday cake thing is insignificant. But the thing with his brother, and you know what, God rest his soul, you know, there's no timeline for grief. There's no timeline for how you deal with loss, especially someone that close to you. So, you know, if for example he's having problems focusing on football right now, I wouldn't necessarily blame him. I think it was it Serie Da in the World Cup? I think his father died.
I think so, yeah.
And he still played and somehow kept it. So I'm like this. I'm like, well, I understand the argument from some football fans who say, yeah, but he gets paid a lot of money, but he's still human. Yeah, and with the human element of this, when things like that happen in your life, right? When people that are that close to you, you know, are taken from you so suddenly. If you happen to go off in a bit of a tangent, off in a different direction than you normally would, it's understandable.
Well, it's like what I recently was watching WWE The Monday Night Wars, and they're basically recounting a lot of stories. And the last one that I watched was The Heart of War. If you get the pun there. The OWR. But yeah, it was one of them ones where he was talking about when his brother Owen died in that accident in the Kemper Arena in May of '99 at Over the Edge. It was a case of he was like, you know what, I didn't know what I wanted to do. It's I thought I felt lost. He was saying like he felt lost because it was like, you know what, I don't know. He was like, I don't know if I want this anymore, just because he was obviously in quite a bad place. With his brother dying and everything else happening in WCW. So it's one of them was a relative dying always will distract you. But at the same time, it can refocus you as well and really make you focus on the things that are important. Things that are important in life. I mean, Ken Barlow has texted us in again saying the poor man should get a break. His brother died. Scholes needs to keep it shut, which I agree with.
Yeah, I mean,
which I agree with.
Funniest thing, Alan Green mentioned it on 5 Live, right? And I was listening to what he was saying, and I think it's valid. I really do. The other thing that to point out about Yaya Toure at the moment, it's not as if he's been playing badly. He's not. It's just he's not at that usual, I'm standing out as Manchester City's leader, best player, all-round top performer. That's the only thing that's happened with Yaya Toure right now.
Yeah.
And I think he needs a fair bit of breathing space. I mean, there were even fans giving him stick for going and hugging Pep Guardiola. Right? And I'm like, how does that work? Again, Alan Green, he mentioned it because I was listening to the commentary on 5 Live. And it was, Alan Green was like, look, this is a guy that had a major, role in the development of Yaya Toure in terms of him being the footballer that he is now. And, to probably an even greater extent, him being the man that he is now. So when you see those people, you're going to pay due respect. And it's not as if, for example, Pep didn't know about his brother. Do you see what I mean? He probably did.
Yeah.
And, they probably had a very private moment there where they probably talked about that and other things as friends.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like, well, look, as I say, I understand it from a football fan's perspective where, you're I wouldn't say entitled, but you're understandably a little bit ignorant of the personal side of football.
Oh, trust me, there's a lot of football supporters who call themselves supporters who are ignorant to the personal side of football. But but like we've discussed on shows before, there's a lot of fans who don't look at the bigger picture.
Yeah. So in this scenario, it's a matter of, for the time that he's been there, Yaya Toure has put this team on his back. Yeah. Now it's time for the rest of the team to carry him for this brief period. Yaya Toure will come back good. There's no doubt about that. Form is temporary, class is permanent. Yaya Toure is a world-class player. No doubt about it. Arguably one of the best central midfielders in the world, if not the best central midfielder in the world right now in football. So, I think that all of this criticism right now is premature. How many games into the season are we?
4? 5 league games.
Right? And
well, bear in mind, the amount of short-termism that we've seen already this season is astounding. Not even just from fans, but you look at chairman.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at chairman.
I
all right,
agree
with the Huddersfield and Mark Robbins left of mutual consent. Fine. Hockaday. The Hockaday thing. Him getting sacked by Chelino after 3-4 games. And it's like, the short-termism that we're seeing is astounding. Alan Pardew being under the gun at Newcastle at the moment. It's like, yeah, all right. It's like this short-termism is it's moronic. It really is. But it's football these days. It's football.
So
It changes so quickly that a lot of people are going to be short-termists jumping on bandwagons. I've seen people over the past week in a certain group talking about Chelsea look unbeatable at the moment. If they beat City, I can't see anyone catching them. After 5 games. After 5 games. But then someone else saying, well, our defense with Chelsea. I'm saying, Chelsea defense, it's not that strong. We're prone to mistakes. And then that person coming back and agreeing and being like, oh yeah, true. But it's like, but you just said they won't be catchable, and then you're agreeing with something that contradicts that statement. Make your mind up. Stop sitting on the fence. The person tried to criticize me and tell me to do more research, and it's like, yeah, pay me and I'll do more research. Which was alluding to an earlier comment to the same person.
No, but you know what I was going to say?
Revenge of the Pop Shield. But no, to kind of summarize what I was saying about Yaya Toure, he will come back, and right about now he's not even off form. He's just not at that ridiculously astronomical, otherworldly level that he's normally at.
Sorry, but this mic shield is really annoying me. I've been fighting with this pop shield for the past 20 minutes. Let's go in there.
And now you've won.
I win, Pop Shield.
Until you hear.
Listen to me. I'm coming for you, Pop Shield.
But yeah, I just think when he does return to his otherworldly form, we're not going to be talking about, he's ambling about. We're not even going to mention everything else that happened in the last calendar year and change. We're just going to say Yaya Toure is a great footballer.
Yeah.
Arguably one of the best central midfielders in the Premier League, and if not the world. And that will be the whole conversation. Nothing else. But G-Man, you wanted to throw in your comments in that as well.
Yeah, no, what I was going to say is, I can kind of see where Paul Scholes is coming from, because my personal view is when I watched Man City this weekend against Chelsea, Yaya Toure to me looked unfit. Now, whether that's what Paul Scholes is seeing, and is taking all the other factors in, like the birthday cake thing, Yaya Toure talking about and his agent talking about how he wanted to leave the club. Maybe he's fusing that in the situation, but I personally just think Yaya Toure ain't up to the fitness, because he just didn't look up to the fitness of the likes of Silva compared and Fernandinho when compared to the midfield. He looked like there was times where, and I see him do it quite often, but where he's got his hands on the hips and bending down and that sort of thing. Yeah. So I'm just personally, what you said, I think there's a massive level of truth for that. I haven't lost a sibling or anything. I've lost family members, and as we all have, and yeah, that can really knock you.
I mean, you know what? I mean, it's one of them was. I mean, Kep Barlow has texted again saying, I'll come back to that in a second, but it's a fact. Yeah, about the bereavement. It's one of them was, like you said, Jesse. It's a case of bereavement process. There's no timeline on it. You can't put a time limit on the bereavement process. So, coming back to Chelsea and Man City, it's a case of Ken Barlow said Chelsea have only played one top 4 team. They will come unstuck. And Mike Harneman, what was that you said in the chat in terms of Chelsea? That's quite an interesting one.
Yeah, it's similar to what Ken's just said there, really, about the statement with Chelsea, and it's just a kind of agreeing that they've only faced Man City and also Everton in the 6-3. They're the only 2 games really who they've faced against sort of teams that are going for the top 4 or going for Europe. Yeah. Apart from that, it's like Swansea and teams like that who they've still gone 1-0 down to as well. Some of them.
But the thing is, Chelsea have conceded quite a few goals still already. But I mean, by the way, big shout out to Tom Wood actually. He said big shout out to Pitch Talk for not making my Monday nights boring. So glad I'm a part of the PT Skype call family. Thanks for letting me be a part. Liam, G-Man, and Jezzy. Sup, Tom? That's what that was. Thank you for that, by the way. No, we appreciate it. We're your Monday Night Football Effects. Inclusive, not exclusive. Russ Vernon, you wanted to jump in on Chelsea, by the way?
Yeah, because me and my uncle have a talk about football nearly every single day. I mentioned yesterday morning about Chelsea were playing Man City later that day. And he said on a number of occasions last season, and he proved that to be correct. And he said to the guy yesterday before the game, he was saying which was correct last season and was correct yesterday. Every time Chelsea play on a Sunday in the Barclays Premier League, Chelsea have never won a game on a Sunday, because the majority of the games that season, when they kept winning, it was on a Saturday. But some of the matches on the Sunday, I think it was apart from when Stevie G slipped, they used to win. They've never won on the Sunday, Chelsea. And I think if they continue to that, if they continue to not win games on a Sunday and probably drop points from winning positions like they did against Man City, then I think Chelsea will not win the title this season.
Well, in terms of winning the title, like I said before, it's a case of Man City v Chelsea. It was a case of it was way too early to call it a title decider. You'd have to be a fool to call it a title decider. So I'd say. But I mean, it's funny. But you know what? Let's shift on in terms of results, actually. Thank you for your view there. Because where were we? Roma 5, CSKA and Moscow 1. Another surprise. Iturb scoring on 6 minutes. Hash Gervinho drawback. Let's get that trending. I tried again. I tried a year or so ago. I'm going to try it again. Hash, if you've seen the picture, then the Gervinho drawback is just astounding. It's epic. It's a thing of hilarity. But Yao Gervinho, by the way, God bless you, Gervinho. You cracked me up earlier today. But yeah, Gervinho scored on 10 minutes and on 31 minutes. Maicon scored on 20 minutes. Ignacevic scored an own goal on 51 minutes, and Musa scored on 82 minutes. Ajax won, Paris Saint-Germain won. Edinson Cavani opened and scored on 14 minutes, and Shona scoring on 74 minutes. Barcelona 1, Apoel Nicosia 0. Gerard Piqué towering above, getting the only goal on 28 minutes. Chelsea 1, Schalke 1. Cesc Fabregas scoring the opening goal on 11 minutes, a goal which actually shouldn't have counted in my opinion because there was a foul in the build-up. But Klaas-Jan Huntelaar scored on 62 minutes. A very nice finish actually. It's one of them ones. So speaking of Chelsea there, it's one of them ones dropping points. NK Maribor 1, Sporting Lisbon 1. Nani opening the scoring on 80 minutes. Another very good finish. And Zahovic scoring on 92 minutes. Group H, Athletic Bilbao 0, Shakhtar Donetsk 0. And what the hell are you looking at? Okay. FC Porto 6, Bate Borisov 0. The Bate boys getting put to the sword. Brahimi scoring on 5 minutes, scoring again on 32 minutes. Jackson Martinez scoring on 37 minutes. Brahimi scoring again on 57 minutes, and Abubakar scoring on 76 minutes. You guys, oh my god, you guys are just so wrong. It's untrue, and I need this pop shield back because I'm popping and exploding. I'm popping and exploding. I'm popping and exploding all over the place. It's not good. But I mean, it's one of them ones. It's one of them ones. Shifting on to the Europa League quickly as well. Only a couple of results. We'll go Tottenham 0. Tottenham actually, drawing 0-0 away from home at Partizan Belgrade, with Andros Townsend getting booked on 34 minutes, Ben Davies getting booked on 48, Ilic and Luka getting booked on 57 and 86 minutes respectively for Partizan Belgrade. Now, there was something very unsavory in terms of a poster that was shown during the Partizan Belgrade v Spurs match. We do nothing but condemn it. We're not going to give it any airtime, and we're not going to say what was said on it because it's an absolute disgrace. So it's one of them. I just wanted to actually mention that. But on a more positive note, Everton 4, VfL Wolfsburg 1. Rodriguez scored an own goal on 15 minutes. Seamus Coleman scored on 46. Leighton Baines scored a penalty on 47, his first of the week. Mirella scored on 89, and Rodriguez scored for Wolfsburg on 94 minutes. Hey, there's only 3 of the goals there. But yeah, Everton 4, Wolfsburg 1. Mike Harneman, you said you saw the Everton game. Jump in, dude.
Yeah, I did. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought Everton played really well. The first goal, I don't know which one you missed out there, but the first one was the own goal, and the fourth one was Kevin Morales.
Well, there was Rodriguez own goal on 15, Coleman on 45 plus 1, Baines on 47, Mirallas on 89. Yeah, I didn't miss out one.
Oh, you didn't?
I thought you did too.
Yeah, I
But,
thought I did.
I thought Everton played really well. I think they deserved to basically win that 4 or 5-0. I think even Wolfsburg scoring was harsh on them because Everton defended really well, they attacked really well, and just the way they played. I think if they can keep that that sort of team or that line-up on a regular basis throughout Europe, I think they can go far.
What do you guys reckon? Jazzy G-Man, what do you reckon? On Everton.
I honestly think so. I think
Everton could do well in the Europas.
No,
Maybe not further than the quarters, but
I honestly think they could. I think that realistically, yeah, when you look at the congestion even with the fixtures, that finishing back in the European places is going to be difficult for Everton this season just because of the congestion and fixtures. So for them to go and put some eggs in one particular basket and make a run at the Europa League, I don't see that being a problem. And I think that squad is capable. You know, I think that team is very talented, and they can go deep in the competition. But I think that they're going to have to.
Everton, by the way.
I think they're going to have to. Oh no!
Someone's put Christmas is in 13 weeks. Hash buzzing. I love that. 13 weeks. Makes it sound like it's quite a short, finite time.
But yeah, I think that it's really a matter of what poison they pick in terms of how they're going to what they're going to focus on this season. But I think they're more than capable. I really do.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, just to add to that, I've got to say Everton's style of play, which Martinez has implemented. You know, it's really working for them. Like you saw Naismith's goal. The movement between him and McCarthy was just excellent, and the 1-2 passes that with Leighton Baines, you know.
Well, Leighton Baines was saying afterwards that Everton are made to face a team like Wolfsburg. Yeah, they can just carving them apart.
Well, arguably they're made to play the way Martinez got them playing. They're made to play quite a few teams and big teams as well. So, you know, and that win, you know, should breed confidence with them.
I mean, Russ Vernon wanted to jump in on the Everton-Wolfsburg match as well.
Yeah, I did, Liam, because I watched that game and I thought Everton, like I said, Everton played really well. The Wolfsburg goal was harsh because I didn't think Wolfsburg were going to score. When Bender came on, when I saw his squad number 3, I was like, Bender, he's a striker, why give him squad number 3? 3's for a defender. And I knew Bender weren't going to score because he didn't have that very good goal scoring record. Also when they played against Everton. So I knew he weren't going to score, and Everton just completely. And for the penalty, I don't know what you're thinking, but for the penalty, it was just outside the penalty area for me. The Everton penalty which Baines scored, well, it was just outside the area for me. And I thought Everton played well and deserved the victory. But the penalty was just outside the box for me.
Personally, I actually didn't get to see it. I've been rushed in terms of time. When you work a 55-hour week and also you're working with the guys trying to prepare a show, time is tight. The time is high. No, that's the tide. Sorry. No Atomic Kitten reference there. Is it Atomic Kitten? No, there was an earlier.
Just stop. Just stop.
Shut up.
I wish you would.
He's like, shut up. Shut up, I said. But let's shift up to Saturday 20th of September. Hey, Wayne, I resent that, but I'm not on the ball to that. Hey now. It's like, hey now, I'm an all-star. I'm a PT co-host. Look at it's Jesse's face, isn't it? It's like, oh, man, Jesus face popping. Oh, look at QPR2 Stoke 2 is our next result. Juve opened the scoring on 11 minutes. Corker equalised on 42. Peter Crouch scored on 51 minutes. Another goal that really should have been disallowed. because he was taking a ride on Rio. Sounds wrong. His name is Rio, and he gets ridden by Crouch. But anyway, and Nico Cranshaw scored a quality free kick on 88 minutes.
Legitimate goal of the week contender, but please, just stop.
Stop what? What? Nico Cranshaw's 88th minute free.
No. That free
Let's not
kick
stop
was,
that. Goal of the week contender. Stuff of the week is later in the show.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant goal.
I mean, Tom Wood, what did you think of QPR Stoke, seeing as you watched it?
I thought it was quite an entertaining game, to be honest. But I just really hope QPR stay up, to be honest, because they've got some decent players. Be a bit of a waste of time for Redknapp buying all them players, and then they'll be leaving at the end of the season.
It's like, yeah, you're not staying for long, so don't get comfortable. You will not be getting your own locker. You won't be here long. If you're one of them. G-Man, next result's yours. All right, let's go to Burnley Sunderland quickly. Burnley 0, Sunderland 0. Yeah, 3 bookings in this game. Jack Rodwell on 62 minutes, John O'Shea on 78, and Dean Marney on 90. Newcastle United 2, Hull City 2. Nikita Jelavic opening scoring on 48 minutes. Another goal of the week contender. That scissors kick there.
That was a bad.
That scissors kick there.
Golazo.
That scissors kick there. That scissors kick right there. Oh my God, Jelavic was coming for you. It was fantastic. But the Arme's goal as well on 68 minutes. Wow, it's like they were competing with each other. So Hull City raced into a 2-0 lead. Certain teams sitting here will know about racing into 2-0 leads and surrendering there. But we'll get onto that in a second. Papiss Cisse came on as a sub. Like, he was going to come on anyway, but the boos rang around St. James's Park when the Arme scored. So Cisse was brought on. He scored on 73 and 87 minutes. And everyone was talking about, oh yeah, it saved Pardew's job. Saved Pardew's job. It's like, what do you mean saved his job? If that result did save his job, then that means it's only saved it for one more game, which is stupid. Stupidly short-termist. And I'm glad Mike Ashley hasn't booted Pardew out the door. I'm personally glad about that. But it's a case of the pressure on him. I think it's unfair. I mean, it's unfair. 5 games in, and they're like, oh yeah, pressure. It's like, no. How can you be under pressure after 5 games? Hey, Massimo Cellino, how can you be under pressure after 5 games? But it's, I mean, the whole Pardew situation, I find it hilarious. I mean, Tom Wood, you wanted to jump in on the Pardew situation?
Yeah, to be honest, I think their fans are a bit pathetic, to be honest. They need to back their manager throughout the whole season. See, it's only early days, and they've got to see how well they do. You can't say we want Pardew out. He's on a 6-year contract. You can't get rid of him, otherwise he'll win more money out of the club if he gets the boot.
Couldn't have put it better myself. So I couldn't have put it better myself, so I won't try. Mike Arneman, you wanted to jump in as well. Thank you for your view as well, Tom.
Yeah, it's the same as Tom, really. I'm 100% agreeing. I think the fact they were 2-0 down, and he's made some tactical decisions there by bringing on Cisse, bringing on whoever else he's brought on to change the game, and he's got him a point. The fans need to be more respectful of the fact Pardew's doing his job. He's trying to make the team, as best as he can. He's trying to give everyone, a sort of a fair run in the team and make sure that they're doing their bit, really. And he's just doing his job. Mike Ashley is known as a bit of an idiot anyway. And I think they shouldn't be on Pardew's back. They should give him time, give him a chance, and just see where it goes.
Definitely. I mean, definitely. But as said, it's one of them ones. See, this is where the parasitic media have got a cross to bear, because I think they are the ones encouraging this kind of mass hysteria, to use Pardew's own words, and whipping it up into a frenzy of short-termism. I think the parasitic media is majorly responsible for the short-termism that runs rampant in football, and that is rife in the game, and it's embarrassing. I mean, no one ever wants to. They never want to take responsibility for it. it's one of them ones. It's usually the parasitic media calling for a manager's head after 3-4 games, and then the fans jump on it. They like the sharks that smell blood. They jump in on it. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. But right. That's an interesting question from Wayne Schumann about the views on the World Cup in Qatar. We had a push point a while ago about that actually, where we went into a lot of detail about that. So Wayne, youtube.com/pitch talk is where you need to go for the rants of the week and the push points about the Qatar World Cup there. So it's one of them. But yeah, I mean, Tom Wood, you had another view on the Pardew situation.
Yeah, I think he's a bit out of order that he's got rid of like too many good players. He's let go like Ben Arthur, who's a really good player. I don't know why they got rid of him. And Debuchy, who's another decent player, who's gone.
Well, it's case I think Ben Arthur's only gone out on loan, so at least they can get him back. But I mean, Mike Hahnemann, you wanted to jump in as well again on Newcastle.
Yeah, I'll be quite quick. I'm just saying, it's kind of agreeing with Tom again. Some of the players they've got rid of, it's not going to make it any easier when they're fighting for survival. And at the end of the day, it's what everyone associated with Newcastle is going to want to fight for. Because this season, it's going to be a long, hard season for them. It's going to be a struggle anyway. You don't need the added pressure of chopping and changing your manager.
No, definitely. Yeah. I mean, you want to take that next match, G-Man?
Yeah, but I like to do my dramatic pauses I do every week before I take it.
Those dramatic pauses before it takes it comes too. Anyway.
No, don't. You see, well, it's just like you doing your live bird on the chest. It's like I'm just blanking out all the mishmash between and just having that break, taking it in, getting ready for the result, helping the people relax, getting ready for my stuttering and my spittering, and you get me in. Let's get into it.
Don't relax too much. You might have an accident.
Aston Villa 0. Aston Villa, who beat Liverpool the week before, 0. Arsenal 3.
Why is this squad trying? Go on.
I'm not trying it.
So go on. The floor is yours, brother. Get hyped. Get into it. Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah.
No. I'm not trying to hype. But I'm just saying.
Cut the promo, damn it.
No, but yeah. Basically, yeah. Arsenal 3-0 winners in this match. Danny Welbeck getting his first goal on. What was that? Danny Welbeck getting. Mesut Ozil getting his first goal in 32 minutes from a Danny Welbeck through ball, which I gotta say, after a lot of grounding and pounding, because the first 32 minutes before that goal, Aston Villa were playing fairly good. But again, to me, Arsenal done what they should have done at Dortmund, and which was pressed Aston Villa high. Them being the home team and forcing them into mistakes, which happened on 32 minutes when Ozil got the through ball, slotted it past the keeper, and it was 1-0 Arsenal. Then Welbeck, in a manic 4 minutes, Welbeck scored 2 minutes later his first Arsenal goal, and this time he was supplied by Mesut Ozil.
Great finish.
Who's been under somewhat of a barrage of criticism over the last 6 months or so for a lack of performances. Stats say different. Sissoko then got an own goal, and this
speaking of mistakes,
yeah, and kind of a hilarious own goal anyway. But Gibbs smashed the ball into the box, and Sissoko sliding in, but slid it in the direction of his goal, and it was 3-0.
Was Gibbs wearing his blonde wig like in that Disclosure You and Me video?
Well, you tell me, you like her. But no,
terrible.
I just want to point out that her name is also Kieran.
Peanut boy!
Are you being serious?
No, peanut boy! Yo, peanut!
No, but from...
And I also want to point out that Kieran Gibbs is quite good friends, or FIFA friends, anyway, with JJ, aka KSI Oluchide BT, as well. So
yeah, I've seen that. Him and his twin brother played in a couple of tournaments, innit?
Yeah.
But it's quite jokes.
And
I didn't even know Kieran Gibbs had a twin brother until Oxlade Chamberlain.
I thought you meant what's it? K Sola Jillaby twin had
No. Kieran Gibbs. And Kieran Gibbs' brother plays quite low down in the lower leagues, I do believe.
There we go. Tom would have said Aldershot.
Yeah. But yeah, and in the second half, basically, it was just a retainment game by Arsenal, who, to be honest, their movement with the ball in the second half wasn't as good as the first half, but it was still excellent at best. And Aston Villa really wasn't in this match, and it was a different team that turned up in my eyes. And I think Paul Lambert would be bitterly disappointed with conceding 3 goals like that within 4 minutes. Even though you've told me there was a virus, I didn't know there was a virus.
Yeah, it was. They brought it up on MOTD. It was common knowledge that a lot of players there'd been a virus in the camp.
Yeah.
Like what happened with Tottenham West Ham a few seasons back, which is hilarious.
But regardless of what you say, there's like what Jesse Fizzle has been saying at the beginning of the show. It's you got to beat the team that's in front of you, and Aston Villa didn't beat us, we beat them.
Not true. Not very true. I mean, Mike Kahneman, you want to jump in on this?
Yeah, I agree with G-Man, really. I think it was a lot better performance than the Dortmund game. And Ozil was a standout player. Ozil was absolutely brilliant. He deserves a lot of praise for that. The amount of fans that get on his back. And he has a very, very good game. One of his best games, if not his best game, in an Arsenal shirt against Aston Villa, who were a decent enough side as well, really. And I think he deserves a lot of credit. The way he kind of wasn't thinking about all the sort of drama he'd be getting from the fans and all the abuse or whatever, and just literally stuck to his game, went out there, done what he had to do, and was absolutely brilliant. If he does that all season, he'll be up there with one of the best players in the league.
My thing was this, though. Maybe I wasn't really looking at the positioning, but he seemed to be, doing most of his damage from a central position. Is it the tactical shift that's gone and instigated that change? Because for me personally,
let him off the leash in the middle. That's
even when he was at I think it was it Bremen? I think he was at Bremen before he went to
if he went to Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think it was Bremen. If it wasn't Bremen, it was definitely Wolfsburg. But I think it definitely was Bremen. He was always a number 10. Then he went to Real, did his damage again as a number 10. Who could drift wide if he had to. It's one of those things. And then he comes to Arsenal, and everybody knows he's a number 10. Yeah. But he plays wide. And now he has a license to come inside, and he does damage. He gets a goal, gets an assist.
Sorry.
I'm like, why has he not been played there from the start?
Yeah, of course. Ozil being forced wider than a hooker's legs is just not a smart use of him.
Well, you know what? In Arsene Wenger's,
if you'll pardon the analogy,
in Arsene Wenger's previous press conference, the one after the Dortmund game, he basically explained it like this. He just said, look, Mesut Ozil, like quite a few other players in the team, there are a number of players who like to see themselves as number 10. Jack Wilshere, Rosicky, Cazorla. And, even Oxlade-Chamberlain would love to play in a more central role. He said it on many occasions, but also he said he's willing to play at any position that he's given. But what Arsene Wenger's expecting from them, all of them, is that, there's got to be a lot more movement, because just because you're on the left-hand side, you've been placed on the left-hand side, in Mesut Ozil case, doesn't mean you have to stay there. You got to get the triangles going. And that's what I think. That's why I've always said the team needs to gel, because they need to understand each other more and more. Do you get what I'm saying? And with Mesut Ozil playing on the left, people need to understand, you got to pick up positions. Like I said, with the just going back to the Dortmund game, I just felt that Jack and Ramsey were leaving Arteta stranded quite a lot of the times when it was a game where we were being pressed high, and we already know that Mertesacker and Arteta don't really have the legs to compete with pacey players, so you're always going to need that third person around you, to pick up the slack in so much words. So I think Mesut Ozil, he looks a lot better in the centre, but he was drifting to the left. He you found when he scored his goal, he was drifting to the left and doing his piece as well. I just think it's one of those. It's a mentality thing from the team, like they need to stop getting bogged down in positions and start helping each other out more.
I mean, Wayne Schumann wanted to jump in as well. Did you want to add to what G-Man said?
Yeah, I think Ozil looked more comfortable in that position. He looked like he was enjoying it more as well. it looked like he was enjoying his football a lot more. And I mean, after Tuesday night, he got criticised hard, and I thought it weren't just him. The whole team were awful on Tuesday. It weren't just Ozil personally who was bad; it was the whole team. But I thought Saturday was a much better performance, and I thought we played really well Saturday. And it was nice to see, you know, as I said, Ozil in that position, and he linked up well with Welbeck.
Positive times ahead. Positive times ahead. One person who hasn't got positive times ahead is Wilfred Bonney, because he's going to be serving a suspension next match because he got booked on 20 minutes and got sent off on 39 minutes. As Swansea were beaten 1-0 by Southampton, Victor Wanyama with a quality finish on 80 minutes, scoring the only goal of the game. And you know what, yeah? Bonney sending off was just stupid. It was like you're already on a booking, and then you go in for some scissor tackle, and for some reason he seemed to have something against Yoshida in that match, and Font then stuck up for Yoshida. Font got booked. Bonney was booked as well, and then Bonney went in on Yoshida again, and it's like all you can say about Bonney, all you can say about Bonney and his sending off is
stars. -5 stars. -5 stars.
Because it was terrible. It was really stupid tackle.
Well, the first challenge was unnecessary. Like literally, he runs into him like a charger.
Yeah, but he could. Hey, you know what? Did you see the growl? Ah! Dude was growling. At first, I thought, hey, that's harsh for a booking. But then when I saw him growling, it's like, dude, he's looking to steamroll or something. You just see him, burn.
Right? It's like he had beef with Yoshida.
Yoshida, blood. I will take you out, blood. You know what that was that?
So for me, like it was deserved, but totally not what was needed. Right? There was a lot of talk about Bafétimbi Gomis potentially taking
Bafétimbi Gomis.
I was waiting for that. I was just, you know, there's a lot of talk when Gomis actually signed for him to be taking Wilfred Bonney's spot in the starting 11 rather than to be there as a complement and competition. And on evidence of this, if Wilfred Bonney is going to be doing things like this, then Gomis should start. It's as simple as that. And I know that there's been talk about him wanting to go to a Champions League team, etc., etc. Look, if you're playing for a Champions League team, you can't do that. It's as simple as that. The worst thing is, you know, in terms of goals and being a striker, he is the main man at Swansea. He's the one that they depend on, you know, up top on his own. If you do things like that, you're not dependable. You know, he was going to be the main threat in terms of goals, and for him to take himself out of the game, and that's what happened. He took himself out of the game, nothing else. Then, you know, if he loses his starting spot, if he doesn't get his move to that top 4 club that he wants, that's his fault.
I was gonna say, you know what? Yeah, in terms of taking yourself out of the game, Liverpool took themselves out of the game within the first 10 minutes against West Ham, because West Ham 3, Liverpool 1. With the live bird upon my chest, that's terrible. With the live bird upon my chest, this is not the result I love the best, because at the end of the day, Winston Reid scored on 2 minutes from legitimately poor defending. Hendo, as good as you are, you let your man go. If you're gonna man mark, you got to get, like I said last week, touch tight. But Sacco scored on 7 minutes, and not our Sacco. It was one of them. I still think it was a cross. But it's one of them. It was a good goal no matter what. But Raheem Sterling scored on 26 minutes to reduce the arrears. A fantastic finish, actually. Really put his foot through it as Balotelli literally jumped out of the way. To get out of the way. But Morgan Amalfitano scored on 88 minutes. Now, one of the things that actually annoys me about this result the most is not only the result itself, but the fact of the matter is, it's the way we went down. West Ham literally bullied us in the first 10-15 minutes. They were like bang, bang, bang. They were hungry. They wanted it. They were real hungry. And like when I watched the match back later on Saturday night, like after work, it was a case of when I saw us go 1-0 down, it was mad. But when I saw us go 2-0 down, it was.
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Wait a minute. But I don't like
Wait a minute.
I don't like it at all. But I don't like it.
It was one of them. It was that bad, and the performance in general from Liverpool legitimately was
-5 stars.
I mean, it was one of them ones it was weird when we went to 3 at the back. We brought on Sacco, took off Skirtle, and went 3 at the back. It was like Raheem Sterling as a wing back. It kind of nullifies. It kind of nullifies his impact, and because he's got to do a lot more work. But the fact is, we were poor, and it's the back line that concerns me. That's what concerns me. Like I said last season, if anything would cost us, it would be the back line. This season, our back line looks porous, and I would have Sacco and Skirtle starting alongside each other, just purely on the fact that they played with each other last season, not in that way. Foden tees up for Big T in that wrong one. But the fact of the matter is, there's no cohesion in the defense. The front line is constantly changing, so there's no real cohesion there. And for me, a defensive partnership, not even just a centre back and another centre back, but you include the fullbacks as well. That's pretty much 4 men changed from last season, at least 3. So it's one of them ones where it takes a run that I think of about at least 10 games consecutively for a partnership to be fostered between the 2 centre backs and then the 2 fullbacks. And if stuff keeps changing, then you're never gonna get that. You're never gonna get that continuity.
Never gonna get it. Not this time. No, you're never gonna get it.
Remember your results in a second. Tom Wood, you wanted to jump in on Liverpool West Ham.
I'm emphasising your point.
Tom Wood wanted to jump in on Liverpool West Ham. We're coming back to you.
Yeah, I was at football training on Saturday, and our manager's a Liverpool fan. He was saying to everyone, "So what do you think the West Ham Liverpool score is going to be?" And I shouted out, "It's going to be 3-1 West Ham." And I wish if I put a bet on it with him now.
I was gonna say if you put a bet on that, you would have won some serious money. But hey, it's one of them ones. Like I said last week, though. Props to West Ham, by the way. Like I said last week, it's a case of because the league's so open and people are taking points off each other, dropping points, sacrificing leads. And I'm not talking about putting Leeds United on a cross. But the fact of the matter is, it's a case of within that first 15 games, you could probably afford about 3 defeats and still be challenging. You could afford probably anything up to 5 and still be challenging because the league is so open. Just look at last season, and this season it's going to be even more. You could tell it's still going to be open. And we're saying about the runaway juggernaut at Chelsea. Chelsea started that way last season too. So it's one of them ones. I can't make any sort of sweeping judgments when we're only 5 games in, 6 in all competitions. So, but the fact is, the Balotelli Adrian incident it's handbags at dawn, much ado about nothing. No punches were swung, so both fine, stay on. Yeah, it's one of them ones. Both of them got booked, fine. It's one of them ones. The handbags at dawn. Legitimately handbags at dawn. Balotelli, I'm surprised. He actually really kept his cool in that situation when he could have flung off the handle quite comfortably. So it's one of them ones. He was late on Adrian, but Adrian took a poor touch, so he had every right to go in for it. But Adrian's reaction was a bit over the top. Even Mark Noble was like, "Hey, listen, calm down, like, cool your jets." But that's the way I see it.
Well, yeah, but I think Marky Noble's reaction was in relation to the fact that West Ham were winning the game.
Yeah, they don't want to throw it away.
You don't need your goalkeeper getting sent off at that point.
Yeah, of course.
But no, congratulations to West Ham. Absolutely fantastic result. Shout out to my boss at work, and of course my brother from a different mother, Mr. Mark James Lynch as well. Big West Ham fan. Congratulations to you both.
Yeah. But you know what? Next result we're going to move on to. We're going to swing on to Sunday, 21st of March.
Hey.
21st of September of 2014. We'll just start in reverse order. Man City won, Chelsea won. Pablo Zabaleta sent off on 66 minutes for a second bookable. I think it was the first one that was a bit harsh, but hey, it was one of them. Was the fact of the matter is the second thing with Diego Costa deserved the sending off. Costa once again fortunate to stay on the pitch to an extent, but still. Andre Schürrle opened the scoring on 71 minutes. Brilliant counter-attacking football by Chelsea. But Frank Lampard came on as a sub, and guess what happened? Hey, Jose, calm as a BITC well. Sup, Jose? All I can say, after Lampard scoring on 85 minutes.
I was actually going to be a lot more subtle than that. And I was going to be like, one of our good friends, Spoonface, and be like, hey, Jose, did you see that?
I like that. That's good. All I can say to Jose Mourinho, there is no one I'd rather say this more to than...
Life sucks, and then you die.
Hey, Jose, karma will always bite you, won't it? Suck it. But anyway.
Karma's like Suarez, you say.
You'll take a bite. Oh, that's terrible. Don't make me bring up the meme. Don't make me bring up the meme. This is why I bite people. I don't like this post. No, I can't say that. But no. It's one of them ones. The fact of the matter is, Mourinho looked fuming, and it was that. Hello, Jose. Hello, mate. But anyway, but 1-1 was the final score with Man City and Chelsea.
On the balance of things, I think it was a fair result, and it was one of those things that were always going to happen. When Frank Lampard first signed for New York City FC, and then went on loan to Manchester City, and we were talking about the fixture list of this game.
We had the future of the game segment.
There was a lot of talk about him potentially not even playing in this game, out of respect. But then he was named on the bench, which I thought was quite interesting when you consider all of that, pre-match talk, pre-season talk of him not even playing in the game out of respect. And then he comes on and he turned back the years and did what he used to do, but in a Chelsea shirt. He scored goals, and he scored a crucial one for Manchester City. It needs to be said, I think, that in terms of as a spectacle, Mike said in the chat that it was a bit of a shocking game. Here's my thing, okay? If you like to analyze the tactical aspect of a game, if you like to analyze defensive in a game, that was what this game was all about. It was mostly rearguard action.
With Chelsea hitting the post, I think it was Costa who hit the post as well.
Yeah.
Hart made a couple of fantastic saves. Courtois was not bad either.
It was all about that defensive action, and the goals that were taken well. But I think what you actually saw, and I know it's cliche, I'm gonna say, two evenly well-matched teams that cancelled each other out. It's as simple as that.
Well, all I'm gonna say is I hope that Trick Daddy ain't listening.
Oh dear.
You said it was all about rearguard action, and we know.
Oh dear.
All I can say is, in terms of Lampard, there's a reason. There's a reason for this. Lampard leaving Chelsea. It was a mystery. I love that. Heartbreaks are full of history. And the heartbreak for Chelsea was full of history because Lampard scored the goal. I was like, I had to. Trust me, I don't script these things. I could, but it's one of them ones.
Can we move on to Everton 2, Crystal Palace 3?
Yeah, we can, but
Don't agree with what I know. Tomorrow's just a place to be.
Why did you go Cosby in the middle?
Instead of Lemmy from Motorhead, I went Cosby. Mike Hardiman wanted to jump in on Chelsea City quickly before we move on.
Yeah, I am enough. Sorry about that. My view on the Chelsea game, I think Chelsea and Man City was a very dull game, and I think what Jesse was saying about analysing the sort of tactical side of it and the more defensive. But I kind of enjoy watching more attacking football, being an Arsenal fan. I like something a bit, seeing how well teams can attack each other.
Well, the thing is, this one of them was even Pellegrini was critical of Chelsea's defensive approach, and well, their goal was on the counter attack, so kind of made sense.
But yeah, the fact it was Frank Lampard that scored for Man City just literally made me laugh. I absolutely. I was loving it really.
He was loving it. He's loving it like that.
I've seen actually a video on Facebook of, I don't know if it's on the Lad Bible or one of those ones, a Chelsea fan's reaction after Lampard scored. He's sat there with his mates and at his flat or whatever on the sofa, and he's literally just buried his head in the sofa and he's like shaking his head and just like, oh no. He's really, it's funny. If I can find the video, I'll send it to you.
But I mean, it's one of them ones where like the Chelsea fans at the Etihad gave him a standing ovation before he came on, and then gave him a standing ovation afterwards, and we're cheering his name. So it's like there's still love from the fans.
Oh,
but
it's very respectful with the Chelsea fans.
Yeah, but it wasn't the fans who turned their back on Lampard, in my view, anyway. And then I love the way Jose Mourinho was like, no, there's nothing emotional about the goal. Like, see, again, that annoys me about Mourinho, a former servant of yours. Former player of yours who was a stout sentinel for you, and you have the nerve to try and take his moment away from him. So I can't stand Mourinho. Sorry, but it's one of them.
But there definitely is something emotional because you can tell that Lampard was like, no, there's no way I'm celebrating this goal.
Yeah, of course, and you could understand it, dude beat records at that club. Dude was there for 13 years. It's one of them ones. Dude had a testimonial, then dude was due for a testimonial, and then put 3 years on top of that. Most people don't even stay at one club for 3 years, let alone 13. So he smacked it. I'll say. But hey, one of them ones. But you know what, let's shift on in terms of results because Everton 2, Crystal Palace 3. Lukaku opened the scoring on 9 minutes. Jedinak scored a penalty on 30 minutes. Fraser Campbell scored on 54 minutes. Mockage, actually. Yannick Bolasie scored on 69 minutes, and Leighton Baines scored an 83rd minute penalty. Tottenham 0, West Brom 1. Morrison scoring the only goal on 74 minutes. Jesse, final results yours. I'm not even laughing at the result, not right now, but yeah. How about it, bro?
Let's start 5. Manchester United. Van Persie.
Can you repeat that and move closer to the mic?
No, I can't. So Van Persie opened the scoring after 13 minutes. Very well taken goal, actually. Angel Di Maria made it 2-0 to Manchester United with what was, for me, a legitimate goal of the week contender. Joa, who's been absolutely phenomenal for Leicester, scored an absolutely fantastic header on 17 minutes to get them back in the game. And Herrera showed his, shall we say, penalty box awareness, redirecting Angel Di Maria's shot that was seemed to be wayward or at least comfortably saved on the 57 minutes to make it 3-1 to Manchester United. And that was when it all started. 62 minutes, David Nugent, formerly of Preston North End, he converted from the penalty spot on 62 minutes. There is a lot of debate about this penalty. For me personally, it was
a joke. It was a joke of a penalty. It was
ever a penalty. And then of course, Cambiasso brought Leicester right back in the game on 64 minutes. Absolutely.
on 62 minutes.
Absolutely fantastic finish. When you want to talk about you know, what a really experienced midfielder can bring to a young team. That's what an experienced midfielder can do for your team. And then Vardy, absolutely fantastic finish. Brilliant breakaway goal. Richard Delette bullied. I mean it. Bullied Juan Mata.
Where were your centre backs? I just love the fact that like your centre backs. Yes. I just love the fact. It's on the last question, by the way. I love the fact that the defense was just strolling back, and you see Wayne Rooney busting a gut. He was busting the gut to get back, and the fact is, like, oh my God, your defense parted like a hooker's legs after she's been given 50 quid. It's one of them ones that it was just out, and like I don't know what happened. Jamie Vardy mocked. He mocked. He made I think it was Raha. He made Raha look like a mutt hug. So Raha looked like a mutt hug. I swear, man. It was hilarious. I mean, it's one of them where, yeah, where like even the last goal as well. It was one of them ones where it was just mad. It was absolutely bloody crazy. I gotta say. Well, it's one of them ones. I think this is where we wanted to where G-Man wanted to go.
Man United's gonna win the league. Arsenal are gonna capitulate.
No, Jersey. Unfortunately, it's the other way round.
What, the Arsenal are gonna win the league, yeah?
Well, no, it's them capitulating. You lot were the ones to capitulate.
I was gonna go with the Man United and gonna capitulate.
Oh!
Fair enough.
So that was. By the way, that soundbite was taken from Pitch Talk Meet the Team. Jazzy Fizzle. It's one of them ones. Oh, that was fun. I mean,
my hair was so short in that video. No,
but what did you think? I mean, even looking at the last goal as well.
No, Vardy's goal was very well taken. Fantastic finish.
And Joa
from the penalty spot. No, that was a penalty.
Yeah. Clattenburg made a couple of weird decision ones though. And by the way, Tyler Blackett was sent off on 83 minutes.
And deservedly so.
Blackett, not Black.
Deservedly so. There was a decision to give Man United a corner for a non-existent deflection. And for me, I'm just like, look, Mark Clattenburg, his assistants, the FA, everybody involved in the signing anyone in terms of...
He's been rested for the next match. Rested.
You know, anyone involved in assigning an official to that game, flop of the week. I'm like, what?
Do they deserve the rating of...
-5 stars!
I would personally give them -20 stars.
Because I was going to say, Man United conceding 5 against the newly promoted team deserved...
-5 stars!
Totally.
And in terms of the penalty that got given against you,
what, the first one?
After all the luck you've had at Old Trafford over the years, it's a bit of karma at the King Power. Karma at the King Power. That's all I can say about it.
This guy.
But no, I mean, but I know when those goals were going in, you had to be.
I had to be King Booker.
Ain't no king involved. United, United, man, United, man, United were down. Man United were down. Man United were down. Man United got down. Got knocked down. United by Leicester.
That guy looks like a dark version of Company.
Oh, Bobby Lashley. Wow. It's one of them ones. All I can say is United. It's one of them ones. United. 3-1 up with half an hour to go, and then bang, done deal. You're gonna slap up. It's over. Man, them were dizzy. Man, them were dizzy. So
And there were no rascals involved either. But no, in all fairness though, I think Louis van Gaal summarized it very well when he said the game was in our pocket and we gave it away.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
That's what he thought. That's
Man United were like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. We give it away, give it away, give it away now.
Oh dear. But no, honestly,
the Red Hot United Peppers. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away. Leeds now. 3-1 with half an hour to go. Oh no, after all the ribbon that we took from United fans last season, you lot did it to a newly promoted team. So you lot deserve
-5 stars.
And at least we didn't lose that game. It's one of them ones. It's one of them ones. By the way, to certain Man United fans in the Post-Match Playmaker Facebook group, what I'd like to say to you lot after talking smack.
Life sucks, and then you die.
Eh? There we go. Sorry, I've had my I need to get that off my chest.
but yeah, overall it was a shockingly bad performance. And for me, honestly, a game of two halves. It really was. I would love to know what happened at halftime.
Yeah.
Because the game went completely south.
I know what happened at halftime.
And how
your defense went home.
And how that.
By the way, Kirsten Ayres, you want to say Liverpool on Facebook? Yeah. What happened to you? Man poo. There we go. Man poo United, man. Come on. Sorry. There we go. Right.
Shout out to Kirsten. But anyway, the point I was making was, I really don't know what happened.
Smalling.
I can't explain it.
I don't know what happened, aka.
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Wait a minute. But I don't like it. But I don't like it at all.
Exactly. No, exactly. Exactly. So, Man United in that second half, flop of the week.
I think you summed it up. Not Van Gaal. You summed it up. Game of two halves. I reckon that's what he should have said in the press conference. Because he did in a roundabout way. 3-1. He said you should have gone and won that game, and there's no excuses.
He said the game was in the pocket.
Yeah, but
and we gave it away.
Don't do the Steve McLaren.
The thing. I actually do. Everyone was saying it's not down to the penalty decision. Yeah.
No.
But I honestly believe it was down to the penalty.
Come on, you can't blame that.
My thing is this.
Was
with
it
this penalty, right?
Nugent's goal? Let's get this right. Nugent's goal made it what? 3-2.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, United scored. They conceded 3 more goals after
it shifted the tectonic plates. Like,
no.
It's like
wait, you mixing?
There's no.
Were you mixing, man? It's like a DJ.
Or
DJ.
Or are you doing the Aaron Lennon impersonation?
Where all the emphasis was on Man United, because Di Marie, Falcao, they were having
Falcao, Rooney, and Van Persie.
They were having outstanding games. Yeah, Rooney and Van Persie, they put their shift in, but I've got to just point out Falcao and Di Marie. They look absolutely awesome. They looked a different class to some of the Premiership lads. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It's like after that penalty was given, and I know Raphael looked kind of weak at right back. Yeah, but he as well before that decision.
No,
he was playing well. He was playing well.
Really
If you watch the match, he was literally playing well. And he got a lot of stick for a penalty given, which I don't think was a penalty in the first place.
No,
it wasn't a penalty.
Like what Hasselbank said.
Vardy fouled him.
Yeah, but like what Hasselbank said, if you can't give a penalty, if you can't give a free kick for one, how can you give a penalty for the other?
Yeah.
And
the first one was worse by 3 or 4 country miles, not just one.
Yeah.
3 or 4 country miles that was worse by. So I totally agree. How the penalty is given for that, right? And there's no free kick for that obvious foul. I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea whatsoever, right? But as the Straight Shooting one was pointing out, the defending, even after that penalty, was inexcusable. The ball retention after that penalty, absolutely inexcusable, right? Louis van Gaal actually had it spot on. He said certain players in that team were far more interested in scoring the extra goal, getting that little bit of glory for themselves. And I'm looking at the captain, and I'm saying, I know you want to ball out the defense. I understand that. But how about we point the guns inwards, okay? And let's look at that Hollywood pass that you tried to play, trying to channel your inner post goals. That failed miserably.
Do you want to give it the rating of
-5 stars?
Right? It failed miserably. So essentially, that whole counter attack was down to you losing the ball. Right? If at 3-1, Manchester United played a possession game, not necessarily looking to penetrate, but just hold on to the ball. Recycle possession, go forwards, go backwards, go sideways, but keep the ball. The game is won. You do not lose the game from that position if that's what you do.
I can't wait for Jersey to become a coach with that kind of monologue. Speaking of penetrating, evening, gentlemen. Question from Hell's Kitchen: Who do you each of you and the Skypers believe will win this season's UEFA Champions League, and why? From your brother from another mother, with love, Big T. As we throw them T's up. So penetrate, Big T. There was actually that's not an instruction. Not like Daniel Drinkwater. That sounds like an instruction. Champions League at this current second can't look past Madrid. Real, that is. But it's too early to tell for me. It's too early to tell. Who do you guys reckon?
Well, singing it out there, I'm going Madrid as well. They just look stronger.
So I will actually go for Bayern. I think they have so many interchangeable parts, so much quality. When I say interchangeable parts, you have to look at
Mr. Potato.
No, no, not at all. But you have to look at the players' versatility that they have. They have essentially what is, all-purpose German utensil in Philipp Lahm.
I was going to say he's like the Swiss Army knife.
No, the Swiss Army knife is David Alaba. He's a Swiss Army knife, mostly because he's Swiss. But literally, he plays what? Centre back, left midfield, centre midfield, defensive midfield. Where does he not play? Right, you got Robin who plays on the wing up front. You got Ribery who plays on the wing. You got
Alaba. You got Alaba who's that versatile, and you got Phil Jones who's like tries to be that versatile but fails miserably. Who needs to stick to one?
Anyway, my pick for the Champions League, Bayern Munich, because I think they can play so many different ways. They can do the 3-4-3. They can do the 4-3-3. They can do the 4-4-2 diamond. And they have so many match winners in that squad.
What was that joke about Man United? What's it? Louis Van Gaal was screaming out 3-5-2, 3-5-2, 3-5-2, and Rooney screamed out to everyone else 3-5 lose, 3-5 lose. I was like, it just reminded me of that. By the way, where's he's flinging things around. Ken Barlow has texted us, with the Glazers chucking money at Man U like it's a stripper with a crack habit, you demand more. Van Gaal is not ready for the Prem. Simple.
No, no. I don't agree with that, because I was saying this to
I don't agree with it.
My little brother came, man, and a couple of people at the weekend. It's one of those things where Man United have bought some incredible strike force. Yeah? To me, they bought Di Maria. Again, it's like I'm actually bashing over this guy, but I'm watching him play football. And
whoa, if you're doing that, move over there.
No, but it's one of those things. I'm watching him play football, yeah, and the football that he plays, I don't care, man.
Knuckle shuffle, watching him.
He will be in my Premier League dream team at the end of the season, because the way he's playing, it's like Hazard who. That's all I'm saying.
In more ways than one.
He looks 10 times the player that Hazard does, and Hazard's good, yeah. But no, what I was gonna say, they've bought a great attack. They bought some good, useful midfielders and blend that. And what they need is defense. And I just reckon he just needs not a transfer window. It's not the January transfer window, because I think if Man United slip too far behind, they're not going to be able to make it back, even if they were to bulk up the defense. He just needs another season, because he'll have the attack with the philosophy that he's installed.
It will take time.
And then he just needs another season to get a defense, to get his own defense, to embed a full team with his whole philosophy. So,
yeah, like I've said before, like I've said to Jack Hinchin, aka Hitman, is one of them ones. It's a case of it's going to take time. It's going to take time, but United are one of them ones where the wheels ain't gonna just come off in a couple of seasons of what they've built over 20 years. The wheels aren't.
You're mocking, right?
No, but it's one of them. No, but I mean completely in terms of permanently drop out of football. But it's one of them ones.
Yeah,
Tom would have said, "What's the difference between Man United and a dog walker? The dog walker can hold the lead." I've heard that.
I've heard that on Arsenal so many times.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Newcastle.
Yeah.
What was it? 4-4.
Yeah, it's like that flow chart. Does Thing have the ball? It's Thing on the pitch. Yes. Give Thing the ball.
Yeah.
I've seen that about so many things. It's not original anymore. But thank you, Tom Wood, for the take. But it's one of them. But you know what? It is time for us to move and groove on in terms of segments. So you know what? We are going to pause that track, even though this is Piss Talk. Woo! But it is time for us to pause this track, and we are going to jump into a couple of messages from us and some friends of the show. Remember, next week we have John Sitton and Vernon Grove coming into the studio, so stick around for that. We will see you in a couple of minutes.
The football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
The G-Man.
Samir Sonic, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-year plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitchtalk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website, www.pitch-talk.com. Your Monday night footballing fix, Pitch Talk, is brought to you by and in association with.
Facilities are provided for your Monday night footballing fix by In Situ. Create, engage, and inspire by visiting insitu.co.
Simply exclusive entertainment. If you need a party or rave film, go to sxemedia.com for more information.
Apparently Rich. Simple yet effective web solutions to help get your company off the ground. Visit apparentlyrich.com for more information. And LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video. If you need a video filmed and or edited, check out ljaproductions.co.uk. LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video, offering video production services such as video editing, video encoding for the web including YouTube and Vimeo, audio recording, filming of interviews, promos, live events, and much more. Get in touch at www.ljaproductions.co.uk or twitter.com/LJA Productions and let the new blood in digital video promote you. Pitch Talk is brought to you by and in association with
One-stop shop for all your coaching needs, Motivate Sports and Fitness. Check out motivatesportsandfitness.com for more information.
The new football culture magazine, Thin White Line. Check out thinwhitelinemagazine.com for more information.
Storm FM with new hot releases played daily. Feel the boom at stormfm.net.
Two girls with their Bonnie Scotty trying to cover as much women's football as they can. Girls on the Ball. Check out girlsontheball.com for more information.
Hello, I'm Roy Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former chairman of Ibis FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening
to Pitch Talk.
The only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Gentlemen, with your friends.
We are back. Your Monday night football lit-in fix. We are back.
And we like the way, we like the way, we like the way, we like the way, we like the way you.
Wow, wow.
And we like the way, we like the way, we like the way, we like the way, we like the way you.
Wow, wow.
And we
like the way you. Wow, wow.
We like the way, we like the way, we like the way you.
Wow, wow.
And we like the way, we like the way, we like the way,
like the way you. Wow, wow.
You. Let's go. We like the way you do your thing. We like the way you do your thing.
This is Pitch Talk, and we're gonna get into some stuff on the socials. G-Man, we got a bit. And by the way, a big shout out to Ken Barlow. Thanks for listening to the show and joining us. He says, moving on now, got an early start. Good talk. All good. Thanks, Ken, for joining us. A fellow brother in red. Love it. Liverpool red, that is. Mark Henry looks familiar.
Oh. Wow. I don't know who you're saying.
Gee, can you grow your beard in that thing? No, what the hell is Ron Killings? Is that Ron Killings? Tell me that's not Ron Killings.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, that's why I don't watch current products. Anyway, former NWA champion. Yeah, sorry, go on, G-Man.
Yeah, so basically moving on to the socials, and first of all, just want to say a big shout out to everyone that's in the chat room. That's like Mike Honeyman, Thomas Woods, also Wayne Schumann, and Big T's texting as well.
And Russ too, big shout outs.
Russ Vernon, never forgot you, mate. Was going to come say you last. And also big shout out to everybody that's watching, the silent listeners and all of that stuff. And big shout out to Garda Events UK, who have said you've been quoted in my Storyfire story, Garda Events Tweets of the Week Volume 1. So find out what that is about. Big shout out to Matt Wollstonholme, who's answered a few of our questions in regard, one of our questions in regards to Arsenal, presuming he's an Arsenal fan, and he's basically, the conversation goes like this. Arsenal lose 2-0 to Dortmund, and Arsenal fans weren't happy, but are they overacting, as the German side are hardly any pushovers? And Matt has basically said no shame in losing to Dortmund, but the manner of the defeat was worrying. Arsenal were all over the place, total shambles. Then going on to say in your opinion, what was Arsenal FC's main issue on Tuesday? What should they have done differently? He said not too much they could have done differently. The game highlighted severe lack of defensive options in the squad. And he's ended with saying, I expect they'll come second in the group, draw one of the big boys, and that'll be the curtains. Same old story. So that's from Matt Wollstonholmes on Twitter.
Mike Hardiman said, I agree with Matt, and of course it's not only one game, we need to make sure we are much better.
Also, want to say big shout out to Mercy, who currently isn't listening to the show, but he has delivered a latest blog which will be up later on this evening. So look out for that, or later on this morning by the time I get home, that is. You know, he's just said a big shout out to the boys in the studio. Shout out to Missy. Let's see if there's anything on Facebook.
Facebook. I'll be big on Facebook.
Oh yeah, and just a big shout out to Big T, who we shouted out already. A question was like, well, it was said earlier. Well, as you know, we have some interesting news on tonight's show, along with BPL results, news, and more. Join us live. So if you're listening, you know, tell your friends to join us live. But Big T came out with, wonder if Emil Heskey and a certain someone else will make a special appearance. Well, no, Big T, because what we've got again is Mr. John Sitton and Vernon Grant, who will be in the studio live next week. This time, answering questions from us, from you, and, you know, helping us with the show.
There was actually quite a funny game, quite a funny story to do with Emil Heskey, actually, which is what Big alluded to. It is actually hilarious. I actually we'll get into that. Big T, Laurie, we'll get into that later because that is actually quite funny. But for now, Jesse, did you wanted to respond to Ken Barlow's comments earlier about the Man United spreading cash around? Let's get into that quickly, and then we gotta.
Yeah, I did. And what I wanted to say about it is this. Kenny, say hi to Deirdre for me. And the other thing that I wanted to say about it, right, is this was spending that needed to happen. This was spending that couldn't happen, didn't happen for a multitude of reasons whilst Alex was at the club, okay? And David Moyes spent the money in the wrong way when he got the money, in my personal opinion. And Louis van Gaal had to do something else with the money that he was given. The other thing is, yes, it was a lot of money. Yes, there's a decent amount of new players. This is all going to take time. This is a restoration, or should I say restoration, project that is currently underway at Manchester United right now. Okay? This will not happen overnight. This will take time. The players need to bed in. They need to settle. Okay? And yes, we talk a lot about the money that's been spent, etc., etc. Let's look at Chelsea spending.
Of course.
Yeah. Let's look at Liverpool spending. Let's look at Arsenal spending. Let's look at even Manchester City spending. Let's look at everybody else's spending and say, look, this now, okay, is how you catch up. Now, did Manchester United do that against Leicester? Absolutely not. Categorically, oh hell no, they didn't do that.
Not just a no, but oh hell no. Channeling my inner Vinnie Mac from that.
But having said that, given time, and this is the thing, given time, this team will come good because you've seen glimpses of that in the last two games already. So, am I overly worried about it? No. Am I disappointed? Bitterly, yes. But understand this. You know, this is a process, and it will take time. So, irrespective of how much money Manchester United spent, that's not my point in this situation. My point is, it's part of the process. This was something that needed to be done, and you have to give it time. It's as simple as that.
Well, speaking of needed to be done, probably the opposite in one, and it did need to be done in the other. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Cardiff manager, leaves post from 18th of September 2014. Cardiff City manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer stepped down after less than 9 months in charge. The announcement was made after Solskjaer, who's 41, held talks with Mehmet Dowman, chairman of Cardiff. The Bluebirds 17th in the Championship after 3 losses in 7 games, including Tuesday's home defeat by Middlesbrough and the 4-2 capitulation. Seemed to be a key word, doesn't it, Jesse? Against Norwich. Veteran defender Danny Gabardon and Scott Young are in temporary charge. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Cardiff record was played 30, won 9, drawn 5, lost 16. So it's one of them ones. But in terms of, I said, the one that needed to be done, Felix Magath, struggling Fulham sack manager after poor start, also on the 18th of September 2014. It's one of them ones. Fulham sack manager Felix Magath following their poor start to the season and appointed Kit Simons as caretaker boss at Craven Cottage. Magath, who's 61, had only been in charge of the club since February and was unable to prevent them from being relegated from the Premier League last season. Fulham are rock bottom, and that is an OWR, in the championship, having just taken 1 point from their first 7 games of their new campaign. This is an unfortunate but necessary change, said the chairman, the Iron Sheikh, Shahid Khan. I am doing what I feel is right and needed for Fulham for today as well as tomorrow. Magath became Fulham's third manager of 2013-2014 season following dismissals of Martin Jol and Rene Melunstein, but the German could not save the West London club from relegation, ending their 13-year stay in the top flight. Now, a couple of interesting points in there. Fact is, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I don't think got enough time to really implement what he wanted to do with Cardiff, get them playing attacking, free-flowing football. Because that club had already been destabilised. When Malky Mackay had left the club. So the club had already been destabilised, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was taking that on. Same with Felix Magath. Fulham were all Felix got, I think, they dealt a bit of a bad hand. And the fact is that Magath did not get really much time. I think he got 9 months. But I just like doing the Felix Magath impression. But the fact is, yeah, he didn't get that long either. So it's just this whole thing with, again, he's another manager who got dealt a bad hand. You get given a team who is already plummeting down the table and already destabilised, even more so, in terms of destabilisation, even more so with Fulham, because they'd already sacked 2 managers that season. So, what are you going to do? You've had destabilisation in both situations. I mean, Solskjaer took time to win those fans over, and he had to because Mackay was a fan's favourite. I mean, I remember... oh my God, what was it? Liverpool v Cardiff, when we did pitch talk at the Carling Cup final, Capital One Cup final, back in 2012, and it was that fan who said, "Oh, Kenny can suck it. We got Malky Mackay. He's not upcoming manager." Is one of them ones. Those fans love Malky Mackay. And it destabilised the club. You can see it. When Vincent Tan came in, it destabilised the club. But then when Mackay got sacked, left, it was one of them ones. That destabilised it as well. So it's one of them ones where it is an odd one. But I said I don't think either manager got enough time. I really don't think either manager got enough time to really stamp themselves on it. I mean, obviously, Jamie Bailey, one of the Pitch Talk family, was very much like, yeah, they need to get rid of Magath. But then you've always got to think, when you sack a manager, you've always got to have in mind, is there anything better out there? Like I've said before, you don't want to be sacking managers for the sake of sacking managers, because what's next? It's like Leeds United have apparently taken on a new head coach, and with that, it's a case of I wouldn't have touched that job with a barge pole, like I've said. With an owner like Cellino, you mad? I wouldn't go. Are you dizzy? I wouldn't have gone.
That's what I was waiting.
I wouldn't have gone near that job. Fulham is one of them jobs where that it looks. I think it looks a little worse than it is because. Al Fayed had managers in for so long. Hodgson did very well, and it's just been a revolving door since then. But it's crazy, and you got to think. I mean, rock bottom of the Championship, yeah, fine, but a lot of Fulham's better players and higher earners have left, so of course there's going to be a transitional time. So, all right, but Magath kind of dug his own grave because he's used so many players. I think he's already used like 40, 50 players or something like that. He's used a lot of different players already this season. So basically he is very much dug his own grave in a way. But at the end of the day, you've got to try out new things if what you're doing isn't working. But what do you guys reckon on Solskjaer and Magath getting sacked?
I think the Magath sacking was coming, in all fairness. The writing was definitely on the wall for him. Not just this season, but from last season. And I also think that there's a trigger-happy approach at boardroom level at Fulham at the moment.
Sorry, Jesse, you were saying?
Yeah, no, there's a very trigger-happy approach at boardroom level at Fulham at the moment. And you're right. With sacking him, you have to look and say, well, who's available that you really believe in that can turn the situation around? And I don't know who they're going to go for from there, unless, David Moyes is more than happy to go and take up that job. And, personally, I hope he does. But in terms of Solskjaer one, again, I think it was a situation that, for me personally, I personally don't feel that he should have gone into it at the beginning, just because you have to look at how Marky Mackay was treated and him being one of Cardiff's best managers in a very, very long time. And if he's going to be dealt with like that, in all fairness, how else do you think this is going to go for you? When at the point when Mackay was let go, things were going well by all rights and privileges. So having
user rights and privileges not denied. User rights and privileges.
So having said that, again, it's a matter of who's going to go and replace Solskjaer. It's a matter of what will Solskjaer do next. Does he go back to Scandinavia? Does he try again somewhere else in England? Does he go and
does Magath go back to the Bundesliga?
Yeah.
So does that happen?
So, as I say, it's going to be interesting to see who decides to go and look into that in terms of those vacant jobs and who takes over. But I think that, in comparison with Manchester United, I think the issues at those clubs are a lot deeper than what's happening on the field. I think it's a big confidence issue that needs to be sorted out psychologically before they can actually go forward. But there also needs to be stability in terms of coaching position before that can happen. Whereas I think both clubs now, they need to accept the reality of the situation, which is, we're down at this level for a reason, and we actually now have to stabilize and rebuild, as opposed to, trying to do some quick fix kind of approach, which obviously isn't working.
You know who I think could be a good shout for either Cardiff or Fulham?
Who?
It's this man.
Tony Pulis, one hell of a bloke.
Could be him.
Tony Pulis, he manages Stoke. Tony Pulis, not from Brazil. He's from the port and he was born in Hill.
You never know. Yeah, I think he'd be a good shout on either job.
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah.
Would you guys reckon?
I think that's a great shout.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I'd say more Fulham than Cardiff, because I just think the situation which is happening at Cardiff at the moment it is not a very nice situation. There's been so much happening at that club in terms of from the kick in change colours, from them turning from the Bluebirds to the Red Dragons and that sort of thing. The animosity set up between the fans and the owners there. Tan's relationship with previous manager. I've got to agree with Jesse about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't think he should have taken the job in the first place, as well as I think now it's sort of putting him, well, in my eyes, in limbo in terms of how I think of him as a manager, because I was expecting big things from him, and a lot of people were saying a lot of positive things about him, being just being on point, being another Sterling Man United sort of the next generation of good management, basically. And I'm not saying he's a poor manager. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying him leaving because he's resigned. Remember, he hasn't been sacked. He's resigned. So him leaving, it just looks like, you know, he couldn't handle the job that he put himself there to take. Maybe that's a bit harsh, but you know, that's how I'm looking at it. Magath, Magath, I don't know, man. He just hasn't been convincing at Fulham. You know.
Yeah, but I did that from day one. It was
That's
the
what
Timmy,
I'm saying.
with the Timmy Malik
That's
glasses.
what I'm saying. So it's like, I don't know. You do the funny voice. You talk about the glasses.
I enjoy the Magath.
And you just can't take him serious as the Fulham manager. And what you said, last week with me at the office, where you was like how do his players feel about him when he walks in with?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them ones. If I'm taking a mickey out of him, you can only imagine what certain players are doing. So, all of them. I mean, Tom Wood said give the Cardiff job to Neil Lennon, which is interesting. But I mean, Russ Vernon, you wanted to jump in on this.
Yes, I did, Liam. Because while the show was going on last Monday, Ian Abrams on Monday, if Fulham had lost to Forest, which they did 5-3, and I enjoyed that game last week, then Magath would have gone. And I thought, if me in the first place, if I were Magath to took the job, I would have really left Fulham waiting for it to see what else would tell the job. And for me, for the Fulham job, I think Keith Simons would do a decent job there. He's already admitted that he wants the job after the game of the weekend. And I don't know if you saw him, but over the weekend, Danny Murphy is put his name forward for the Fulham job.
Well, we saw a rumor of that, and obviously Kit Simons is the current man in the hot seat, although temporarily, kind of like Stuart Houston at Arsenal years ago, or Sammy Lee at Liverpool years ago as well. So at least he's the temporary man in charge. But who do you think will be next?
For me, I think you probably either go for Kit Simons or someone with experience of getting teams promoted out of that division, which for me is Chris Shooting, because he knows how to get teams out of the Championship. And for Cardiff, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he said through LMA, as I read last week, that he's going to go back to Norway and he's going to go back to coaching in Norway after having a spell at Cardiff. And he said he found the fans and he just felt it was the time I would step down. So if I could keep up in the Premier League last season, which he didn't, and then he's now got off to the best of starts this season. And I just want to mention quickly on Fulham as well. When Ross McCormack left Leeds United, he said Fulham was going in a different direction to Leeds United. Ross, you're correct there. Fulham's going to League One. Leeds are on the up and looking towards a playoff spot. So you are going in a different direction to Leeds. You're going to League One. Leeds are challenging for promotion to the Premier League. And I hope you enjoy League One next season, folks. You won't be coming back because you disrespected Chelina and by turning up to pre-season training and didn't turn up to go to Italy with us. So we'll come back. Enjoy your time with Fulham in League One, and hope you enjoy trying to get back into the Premier League in the next 3 to 4 years.
Well, you know what? Yeah, Mike Harneman wanted to jump in on the Solskjaer and Magath points as well. What do you reckon?
I think with Fulham, I think since the end of last season, have needed a new manager. I think the relegation done it in for them. I think someone like Pulis could do a job for either of those teams. They've just come down. I think they're both going to struggle anyway, and I think Pulis would be more likely to go for Cardiff out of the two, personally.
So you'll be backing the man who
Tony played football in defence, but now his playing career is in the past tense. He started playing football back in the day. The new ball YMCA.
So that man you think will be the next man?
For Cardiff, yeah. For Fulham, I'm not sure about who they'll go with, and I'd be very surprised if they went with someone like Kit Simons or Danny Murphy, because they're not experienced at all. They've obviously well-known players around the club. They know what the club's about and what the club strives for and stuff, but they're not the kind of managers that you're going to want to get you back promoted or get you back in the Premier League. Just 'cause they wouldn't do the job.
Well, I mean, it's one of them ones. I mean, both guys have got to do, for me, what Liverpool have got to do now in terms of looking towards the future. As much as I love Steven Gerrard, fantastic player, in the last couple of games, his delivery has been utterly terrible. From corners, from free kicks, his delivery's been absolutely terrible. So it's one of them ones. Like I've said before, it's been one of them ones where we needed to start blooding the players in that are going to eventually replace him. You ain't going to have one man replace him. You're going to have a number of them. And Fulham and Cardiff now need to look to the future. They need to be looking 5 to 10 years into the future, and it can only be an experienced head that is going to stabilize each club and get them to where they need to be or want to.
Oh, of course, Liam. But with Cardiff as well, how can Cardiff look 5-10 years ahead with what's happening there at their club at the moment? They can't. They've got to look season to season.
Well, I mean, it's one of them ones, but that comes from the owner. That comes from the owner. It's a case of the owner has to start looking long term if he's going to be there long term. Now that's a question. So, but you know what? Yeah, it is one of them ones. All of this talk about Mr. Pulis.
Professional football career began. He played for loads of clubs like Gillingham, Newport County, Bournemouth 2, and Bristol Rovers, just to name a few.
I love that tune. Tony Pulis, Goldie looking chains. Tony Pulis, that song. That song was brilliant. But you know what? We are on the come up. Creeping on the come up. It is time for us to move on. This show is it's one of them ones. We have got to move on because it is time for a segment near and dear to me that I haven't been able to be as much of a part of as I'd like to. But let's go into Crossroads segment. Yeah. Oh yeah. It is. Yeah, it's the Grassroots segment, and as said, remember our news for next week. We will be having John Sitton, former manager of Leyton Orient, former player for Leyton Orient, Gillingham and Chelsea Football Club, among others as well, will be joining us, along with Vernon Grant, the ghost writer of John Sitton's book as well, which is coming out soon. It's one of them ones. They will be live right here next week, so remember to join us for that. We are in the Grassroots segment, and we always start with a big-time shout-out to the Southern Amateur League, the 14 Southern Amateur League, who have actually now got a regular spot in the Times with their results. So it's fantastic. At 14SAL on Twitter, www.southernamateurleague.co.uk, and facebook.com/VSAL1907. Also, a big shout out to the Amateur Football Alliance at Amateur FA, and that is www.amateur-fa.com. Now, Ibis Football Club are the club we mainly feature in the Grassroots segment, and their details are as follows: at Ibis_football on Twitter, facebook.com/IBIS.FC, and also ibisfc.co.uk is the official website. One of them was also, if you want to play for the club, 11 aside, London, within the M25, it is one of them ones where you got to email ibisfootballclub@gmail.com. to play. So it's all good. Big shout outs to Bloggy. Big shout outs to Pete Snell. Get well soon, brother. Get well soon. Big shout outs, of course, to the rest of the Ibis committee, including Alex Minchell, aka Minch, who joined us actually for PT last week. So big shout out to Minch. Also a big shout out to Ollie Wooding. Also a big shout out to Carl Bolton, the new captain of the Freeze as well. And a big get well soon actually. And also get well soon to Joe Elvin, our vice captain of the Freeze. And also a big shout out to Ben Pierre, who is captain of the Ones team. So the results from Saturday 20th of September 2014. The Ibis Ones 1, South Bank Quarko 1. Craig Wayman with the goal for the Ibis. Ibis 2's 0, AFC Old Smiths 4, and the Ibis Freeze 0, Old Parkonians 4. Now, there was a bit of backstory behind these, which I'll let the G-Man go into in a sec. The Saturday 27th of September fixtures coming this week are Ibis Ones at home to Old Eastanians, and City Group versus the Ibis 2s, the Ibis 2s being away, and the Ibis Freeze are at home to HSBC's Freeze as well. So remember, get yourselves down to training. Training is from 7:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. At the Battersea Park all-weather AstroTurf pitch just off Prince of Wales Drive. So all good. Get down there for training. Match days are on Saturdays, by the way. But you know what, yeah? G-Man, there are a couple of interesting little side stories to do with this week's matches, and obviously you were involved.
Yeah.
What was it? I think the twos ended up with nine men, didn't they?
Well, technically, yeah. Well, the team sheet was posted out on Thursday, and there were, I think it was 12 players, 1 to be confirmed. That to be confirmed pulled out on the Saturday morning, so there was going to be 11 of us. But then, due to an incident at work, one of our players basically, he was going to be late and didn't know when he was going to make it, and it was quite a fair distance because he was in like southwest of the border, and it was always all the way down in the southeast, even deeper. I can't remember. It's Lauren Hill in Sidcup. Sidcup.
Yeah.
So Lauren Hall in Sidcup, should I say? Yeah. Technically, we're down to 10 men once we all arrived. And you know, as the match got started, you know, the other team didn't actually know we had 10 men. They thought they was playing 11.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, we were quite decent in that first half. You know, we were sort of suppressed to the fact that we was playing 2 banks of 4, as Bloggy put it. Playing 2 banks of 4, and then we had Hon up front by himself.
You had Han Cho.
Yeah. Literally, what we were trying to do was, whenever our midfield got the ball, we were just trying to release him in any way possible. But you know, got a few chances, not as much as the other team, and you know, that's how the match was. Like I'd say the ratio was like every chance we had, they had about 4. It was that sort of scenario, but unfortunately for Pete Snell, he got injured. Oh yeah, I'm talking to you. The people there. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, Pete Snell, unfortunately
as well. I feel bad now.
Pete Snell, unfortunately, got injured in an innocuous challenge with one of their better players, should I say? And I think he done something to his crucial ligament.
Yeah, well, Minch put on Facebook about it's a potential, because apparently Bloggy was at hospital with Pete. Snellers, get well soon, brother. Get well soon, man.
And we were technically playing the second half. Started the second half with 9 men, so 9 against 11. They had 3 subs.
This is the second time you've been with the Ibis and played in a match with 9 men. At least you didn't start with 9 men this time.
Yeah, totally different scenario. The first time we tried to be Bravehearts and we went into the match and got slaughtered. Plus, this time we had a goalkeeper as well, which makes a big difference. I got to say, I think it's JT.
Yeah,
big shout out to JT. He made
big
some.
Shout, the stats man.
He made some wicked saves, awesome saves in that first half. But yeah, in the second half, we held out for around 65 minutes, and then myself, I got injured. I just had to basically play up top with as little movement as possible because I'd done my grain. So we technically had 8 men, and that's when the goals just started folding in. And you know, it was a hard battle, but I'd say like for what it was best part of 35 minutes, that they absolutely reveled in the fact that they were playing with 3 men up, and they still couldn't break us down as they wanted. They were getting frustrated. You know, they were having shot after shot after shot, but they were highly frustrated. You know, only to get the 4 goals. And considering that been in that situation before, kind of laugh at them. You've got to say, because they should, in my eyes, they should have scored a lot more goals. So credit to everyone that played, to be honest. Yeah.
No, that's good. No, that is good stuff. Man. I mean, as you can see, we need the players, man. As you can see, we need the players. So it's one of them ones.
But now you need subs, 3 subs. Like,
yeah, and against 9 men, eventually.
There's no excuses as well. You got roll on, roll off subs. So it's not like the old days where you know, you could have 5 subs there and only 3 people are getting a goal. You know, everyone will get a goal. So there's no excuses for anyone out there who says, "Oh, well, I might not get into the team." These days, it's not about that. They're trying to make it fairer, and it is what it is. Competition is there to be had.
I mean, it's one of them, as I said, man. The Ibis, the mighty Ibis. We need the players, man. We need the players. And you know what? It's one of them, as ibisfootballclub@gmail.com is where you need to email. ibisfc.co.uk is the website. Facebook.com/IBIS, ibis.fc. And also Twitter. @IBIS_football on Twitter as well. So it's one of them was, we need the players. I wish I could play. I can't, but I'm working on it. I'll put it that way. But it is one of them ones. Big shout out to you from Tom Wood. Big shout outs to Facebook.com/Porters Soccerability. They've actually just become a chartered standard club as well, as we mentioned last week. So big shout out to them. And they had their first training session this week as well. Their contact details are 07891839171, and that's to contact Nigel Stewart, who is the manager. Training is at Cedar Hall, Fundersley, Essex. And they train on Saturdays from 10 a.m. till 12 p.m. as well. So Facebook.com/Porters Soccerability as well. Tom Wood, you want to jump in on this quickly?
Yeah, like I was just about to say how knackering my first training session was. It was really knackering. We got put through our paces. We did a lot of sit-ups, press-ups, everything. But hopefully we're doing the league test when I go next. But I want to see what I can get, see if I'm fit. And then do it at the end of the season, see if I'm unfit or not. So it's not too bad. And then I'm going to try and get the players to do a bit of yoga.
Maybe that's what I need.
Well, that was yoga, make it more supple. More supple. DDP yoga, this ain't your mama's yoga. Bang! It's one of them ones. Actually, you know, I might get some of them DDP yoga stuff. We'll talk. Probably get some as well.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, shoot.
One of the shots of the week, Elliot. You know Elliot.
Oh, what, Elliot Mitchell?
Elliot Mitchell had one of the shots of the week. He must have shot the ball from about 35 yards out, yeah? A bit like Balassi.
Yeah.
And he hit the bar, like it almost made it 1-0.
Just hit
1-0 with 9 men. If he had scored that, it would have been a different game. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, I hear that. Them turning points. Turning point was, right. You know what? Russ Fernie, you wanted to jump in quickly about Parkgate FC. It's got to be quick though, man. We're tight on time.
Yeah, on Wednesday they drew 1-1 with Staveley Miners Welfare last Wednesday evening. A double lead in the first half for Staveley, pulled a goal back in the second. That was on Wednesday the 17th of September. On Saturday they drew 1-1 with Bridlington Town. They equalised in the second half, and they almost went in late on. The website is patreon.com/clubs/PargateFC. Twitter is at PargateFC. It's facebook.com/PargateFC. And they play at Ramble Pavilion, Green Lane, Rotherham, South Yorkshire, S62 6LA.
Good stuff. That's your update about Parkgate FC from Mr. Russ Vernon. You've got the details That's the grassroots segment, and big thank you to the PT family for contributing to the grassroots segment. That's what we're about, man. We're inclusive, not exclusive. It's we the people for the people. Why? Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
Oh, good, oh, good. By the way, Huddleston Owls 2, Stevenage Ladies Reserves 3. Reserves made the short away trip to play Huddleston. It was going to be a tough game due to Huddleston beating them 3 times last season. They were a quality side. So it looks like it was only the reserves for Stevenage Ladies FC that played. So it's one of them that were beaten 3-2. Are you laughing?
Nothing.
You're laughing about something else. You're laughing about something else. Oh, it's one of them. But you know what? We gotta pause that chat because we've got kind of a funny story. We got a funny story. Sorry, they won 3-2. I should say about Stevenage. But yeah, we got some. See, that's what happens. Haste makes waste. That's what happens when you read stuff, when you post stuff in a rush and read stuff in a rush. But let's go on to one of the funnier moments that we have to say a big shout out to Big T for as well. Let's go into.
Funny
And funny moments. Emilio Heskey, Emilio Ivanhoe Heskey.
His middle name's Ivanhoe. Really?
Emilio Ivanhoe Emilio Ivanhoe Heskey. That's where we
really.
That's where we're going first. Apparently, that actually is his middle name, Ivanhoe. It kind of suits his build.
No, you know what? Respect to that middle name. It's my uncle's middle name.
See, respect to the middle name. Big shout outs to the middle name.
No, it's my uncle's
middle name.
It was my uncle's middle name, and it's actually my granddaddy's middle name.
Ah. See, big shout outs to the middle name crew. Now, me and G-Man were talking about the old school garage MCs who will just rap about anything. It's that pistol could be on the mic. We ain't here to fight. It's like, what? Greet it away. You know what, yeah? Emil Heskey seems to be doing whatever it takes to land a new club, but his latest stunt probably isn't the best advert for his services. Having already appeared on Sky Soccer AM this season when he blasted over the bar from close range, the former Liverpool, Leicester and Aston Villa man has been touting himself on BT Sports Follow the Football. In a light-hearted bid to prove he is actually an underrated centre forward, the team got him to hit a cow's backside with a banjo. Literally. Fortunately, he was more successful than his appearance on Soccer AM, but nevertheless, the joke may not fill prospective suitors with confidence. Now, here's the audio from that.
You've been terribly underrated as a striker, I believe. And some of the abuse you get.
Gotta give a big shout out to Big T on
this. Awesome record. However, I'm going to dispel the myth with you now. Come with me. Barry's going to do a commentary. I've got a banjo. Come this way. I've got a banjo. What we need now is a cow and a cow's arse.
They didn't bring a real cow. It was someone dressed up as a cow, just for the record. No cows were hurt in the making of it.
Barry's going to do the commentary. Barry, hit him with the white bit. Try not to cripple him forever. Hopefully it will break. You have to hit it hard enough to break. He's all right. He's an intern. He's fine. It doesn't matter. He's on a minimum wage.
Heskey actually does have a banjo in his hands. Can he hit the cow's backside? Can he do it? Will he do it? He hit it, but it didn't break. Oh, there we go. Second time lucky. He smashed that banjo over that cow's backside. By the way, Big T, thank you for letting us know about that story, by the way, because that is just absolutely hilarious, I gotta say. Heskey hitting a cow's backside with a banjo, what do you reckon? Because he's shown he can do it. Gimmicked banjo, yes, it was more gimmicked than one of Jeff Jarrett's guitars, but he still did it. He hit the cow's ass with a banjo. What do you guys reckon?
Hilarious.
The old scripted ad lib of a really.
No, yeah. To be honest, watching that video, he looked actually scared. You know,
It's like, what if I flop?
not even what if I flop. What if there's a lawsuit afterwards? That's what
What,
I'd
the
be
cow
thinking.
getting split. The guy dressed as a cow getting the splinters in his backside. He's gonna sue me for criminal damage.
Boy.
Ivanhoe. I love that. I love that. That's classic. It's one of them ones. But you know what? Yeah, Jazzy, you want to jump in on it?
Well, it just goes to show he's got skills.
He can actually.
He's not just a FIFA player. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, hold on. Speaking of that, you just reminded me of something actually. You actually. Oh my god. You actually just reminded me of something from a few years ago. And yeah, I know you guys remember this. I know you guys remember this. This is one of them was speaking of Emil Heskey, and Big T's gonna absolutely love this. I remember this.
Emil Heskey, the Chuck Norris of football. He got so many talents to easily drop your jaw. The way he dribbles down the sideline and looks likely to score, and then steps over but falls over and just misses the goal. He be the greatest to ever gracious with his two left feet. That's why we watch him like every week. Defenders get weak underneath when he breezes past with ease. Please, but he did. It's the Messiah, a true patriot for the country. Yeah, he's taking us higher. You don't know what you're messing with. This Heskey kid, he's the best there is. When he fakes his shot and hits to the left, he still misses. You don't know what you're messing with. This is Heskey kid, he's the best there is. When he fakes his shot and hits to the left, he still misses. Heskey.
All I can say is, I just had the memories of that tune. But you gotta give a big shout out to Randolph featuring K-Solar BT for Heskey Time. Is one of them ones. That was a lot of fun. I used to love that. You know what? It is time for us. Speaking of people flopping and two left feet and missing the goal, let's go into quite a bit of.
Stuff of the week.
Hey! Yeah! This is Pitch Talk, and it's Monday night. Monday mayhem, organized mayhem. It's all good. 99. This is Pitch Talk.
Can we
every Monday night.
Can we pause that?
As Jazzy Fizzle.
Pause it, for real.
Wait, why do you want me to
Let's
pause
reload it and do it again.
Oh, cripes. All right, let's go into. Hey! Yeah! This is Monday night, and this is Pitch Talk. Your Monday night footballing fix. I'm not going for X Factor because this is Pitch Talk, and it's all about the banter.
We got that
This is Monday
appetite.
And it's Monday night.
Why did you go across me in the middle?
I just want to say a big shout out to my boy, Icy Angel.
Oh, you're dumb. Oh, you're stupid. No, you're dumb. I swear you're dumb. This was stupid. horrible, you know. That ICJ fish crap. Don't even try that.
I had to do it through the mic because he wasn't gonna let me play it.
I would have. We would have queued that up. Pick it up.
Bid it. You like Jesse Fizzle?
Yes. Oh, you gotta love it. You know what? Yeah. Let's go into stuff of the week. Let's start with goal of the week. Goal of the week. I think we're all going to be unanimous on this one. What's it? Stollenkamp, I think his name was.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I think his name was Stollenkamp. And it's a case of you don't get better than that. Honourable mention to Nikita Jelavic, but Stollenkamp has to get it in terms of goal of the week.
Stoppelkamp, yeah.
Stoppelkamp, there we go. I don't know why I said Stollenkamp. But Stoppelkamp for that goal. My word. It was one of them ones. But honourable mention to Nikita Jelavic. Guys, what do you reckon? Goal of the week.
I think Stoppelkamp is the absolute undisputed favourite, yeah. And I have to say, he does get my goal of the week, right? But you have to check out Honey's free kick. It's Honey, not Ronnie. Honey. His free kick is very good. And Rodriguez is volley. Two very, very good goals. I'll bring it up. Hang on, it's not even letting me forward the video. But here's Honey's free kick. Here's Honey's free kick.
Oh, sweet. That and Crenshaw. Bloody hell. This week's been mad.
So there's Honey's equaliser. Brilliant free kick. Goalkeeper had no chance. But yeah, no, Stoppelkamp. He gets goal of the week. Needs to be said. Yeah, G-Man.
You know what? Honourable mention to Stoppelkamp.
Yeah, Moritz Stoppelkamp.
The Honey's goal looks great, but I'm gonna stick with the Premiership, and I'm gonna say when I saw Di Marie's goal, I was like, boy,
Boy. Cheeky chip, yeah.
Cheeky.
That
It's the whole
cheeky
build
chip,
up.
not cheese and chips.
It's a build up.
With gravy.
I love me gravy. Whoa, we have an invader in the room.
Is it number 2?
Yeah, wow, bloody hell.
Is it number 1 or number 2?
I'm just gonna keep it different and go Di Marie.
Fair enough. And you know, I do want to send honourable mention to Nikita Jelavic as well. That was
Daddy Longlegs who wants to be part of your Monday Night Football and Fix. Just invaded out of nowhere. Like, yeah, get up. Someone get him. Someone get him away out. But
and Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
what a Panenka.
I was gonna say with Stoppelkamp. By the way, big shout out to Russ Vernon for tagging Pitch Talk in there. That was a fantastic goal. Russ,
check out this volley.
Yeah. Ooh.
Into the ground, into the bottom corner. Ricardo Rodriguez. And I'm not talking about the one that actually used to announce WWE and was Alberto Del Rio's valet and manager.
You've lost me on that OWR. Remember, I don't want to cover product, so you kind of lost me.
Yeah, wasted on you. Wasted on you.
2006 back, and I'll get it.
Wasted on you.
But you know what, yeah? Russ Vernon, your goal of the week.
It's Stoppelkamp, as like you, Liam, but I'm going to give an honourable mention to Giuseppe Beluschi's free kick. I'm just about to put against Bournemouth. There's a link in the Skype chat for you all to have a look at. 25-yard out, free kick straight into the top corner. It looked like it was going to go wide, and then he stepped and went in underneath the crossbar from 25-yard out. Central defender just signed this summer. So honourable mention to Beluschi, but Maurice Stoppelkamp, goal of the week, take a bow, son. In the words of Andy Gray.
Yeah, I love it. Mike Harneman, goal of the week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Stoppelkamp as well. I think the goal is basically going to be everyone's goal of the week, but I'm going to give my honourable mention to Man United's not Angel Di Maria, or Angel Di Maria, however you want me to pronounce it, but Herrera's back heel. I thought that the way that he done that and the way he turned it in was a really sort of cheeky and nice back heel.
Good shout.
It was cheeky and it was nice.
Yeah. Tom Wood, who you got for goal of the week?
Diarme of Hull.
Good shout.
Fair enough.
Shout.
Very good goal.
Wayne Schumann, who you got for goal of the week?
Yeah, I was going to say Diarme as well.
No, that's a good shout. Very, very good shout. Let's go for team of the week. G-Man Jesse, who you going for team of the week?
I'm actually gonna go for West Ham. West Ham.
I got 2 words for you. I think you know what they are, and it's not break it down.
Honourable mention to the other team. I know everyone else is gonna go to, but I'm just saying West Ham.
All right. Remember, Jose Mourinho found out about karma this week, so one of them was your time will come. Coming for you. Good. Jesse, who you got for team of the week?
I've got to say Leicester City. I mean, you really cannot look past them at all. Honourable mention to Newcastle though, because coming from those 2 goals down to get that point when that loss looked like it was a done deal. Well done to Newcastle as well.
Definitely. I'm going Leicester City for pure hilarity's sake.
Thank you.
It's one of them. They're my honourable.
What was you saying about karma before?
They're my honourable mention.
What was you saying about karma before?
They're my honourable mention.
This better than mine.
West Ham and Leicester being my honourable mentions. But my team of the week is that my team of the week. I'm going Ibis again. I'm going Ibis for the pure reason. Going into a match with 10 men is difficult enough, and then dropping down to 9, and it's one of them ones. I hope Snellers gets well soon, man. Pete, get well soon. And you know what? It's one of them ones. It's a challenge for the Ibis at the moment, and I wish I could be playing. In all honesty, but the club moves on. The club is continuing on, so it's one of them ones. I'm gonna go Ibis for surviving and thriving, man. So I'm trying to survive and trying to thrive. Ross Vernon, team of the week.
Honourable mention to Leeds United with back-to-back wins against Bournemouth and against Huddersfield of the weekend, which against Huddersfield I won some money on, £26.15 total altogether, won about £26 in total from 2 bets. Then I had 3-0 to Leeds. I had Decore last goal scorer, so money there. But my team of the week goes to Leicester City, hands down. And the song I was going to sing to Jesse earlier was, let me just think. It's magic, Esteban Cambiaso.
Love it. I love it. Tom Wood, who you got for team of the week?
Bryce Obamanga.
As the team of the week, what?
Because he scored a hat-trick against Fulham, so basically he ruined him.
The one-man team gimmick. Wayne Schumann, team of the week.
I'm going to go for Southampton. I think they're doing well at the moment.
Fair enough.
That's a good shout. Thinking outside the box. I like that. Mike Hardiman, team of the week.
All right, for one, Wayne's only gone with Southampton because you know who we're playing tomorrow and you know what's going on with all of us lot going over there. So he's only gone with that so that he can go and see an Arsenal victory. But my team of the week is Real Madrid for the way they performed in the Champions League, but not just that, the 8-2 against Deportivo as well.
Yeah.
Good shout. No, very good shout. Very good shout. I remember when Deportivo were part of an 8-4 in the Champions League. So it's one of them ones. 8 on the other side. Let's go for. So we've done team, we've done goal. Let's do player of the week. G-Man Jesse, who you going for player of the week?
This is a difficult one. Honourable mention to Vardy because I think he had a great game. I really do. But my player of the week is Alessandro Florenzi.
Why is that?
Because he listened to what his grandma had to say.
What did his grandma say?
His grandma said, "You will score if I come to watch you play for Roma." And he scored. And the first thing that he did after he scored, went straight over to his grandma, gave her a hug.
Graham, come here.
So, Alessandro Florenzi, my player of the week. It's all about family. It's all about love, man. And
it's all about the Benjamins.
And sometimes, the older generation, they're right. And Graham was right. That's what I'm saying.
I'm going player of the week. I'm going Mesut Ozil. Scored one, set up one. and he's been very much maligned and very much under fire from a lot of his own fans. So it's one of them ones. That's how Ozil needs to be responded. So yeah, I'm gonna go Mesut Ozil this week. G-Man, who you going for?
Honourable mention to Mesut Ozil, but also honourable mention to Gervinho, ex-Arsenal player, for his two goals and his fancy hairdo.
Mate, that's more like a head, don't.
Oh wow.
We made that 5 head is a fair don't that 5 head is a hair don't.
No, but you know what? I just have to give it to Vardy, yeah, simply for the fact that they said 3 years ago he's playing for Kidminster, you know, and his rise into the Premiership, this being his debut, and he absolutely had black it up. He had up, literally had up Raphael,
yeah.
Made Matter to look like he didn't matter. So, you know, it's Vardy.
It's a good shot.
Hopefully he gets the England called up one day. Continues like this.
All I can say is with Gervinho, you can see me on camera. So one of them was, without that, it's back there.
Wow.
I was saying I like it. I think it's hilarious. Wayne Schumann, player of the week.
You know what? I'm going to give it to Danny Welbeck.
Fair enough.
I think he played well when he got his first goal.
Danny Welbeck.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Or you're gonna call him by his new nickname, Wele.
That sounds quite wrong, actually. Tom Wood, who you going for? Player of the week.
Jonas Gutierrez.
Yeah, fantastic shot.
Yeah, get well soon to Jonas Gutierrez after being diagnosed with testicular cancer. Get well soon. I think it was Papi Cisse who actually dedicated his 2 goals to his teammate and friend. So that's a great shout. That's a great shout. Russ Vernon, player of the week.
For me, Liam, I've got quite a few players. I've got Kasper Schmeichel, Richie De La, Wes Morgan,
Let's narrow it down to one.
I'll just say the entire Leicester City team and the subs that came on and destroyed Man United. And Jesse, I'm going to send you in the chat my match report from that game.
I'm going to delete it. It's fine.
Oh.
No. Seriously, send it.
Send it.
It's in the chat, Matt. It's in the chat, Jesse.
Thank you.
It's cool. Mike Hardiman, player of the week.
Right, I'm not going to be cruel to either you or Jesse on the Liverpool and Man U front. I'm actually going to say he's a former Man United player. He plays for Real Madrid, and of course he scored a hat-trick on the 8-2. It's Cristiano Ronaldo.
I heard that. Good shout. Very good shout. Well, it's the time everyone's been waiting for, and that's flop of the week. Flop of the week. If you'd asked me on Saturday night, it would have been Liverpool. Because our performance was
-5 stars.
But there's also another team whose performance was
-5 stars.
because they shipped
-5
goals. So it's one of them ones. So it was one of them
I
ones.
knew that was coming.
Shipped -5 goals.
That was so scripted. It was terrible.
I mean, it's one of them ones. Liverpool and Man United both deserve mention for flop of the week. Both deserve mention, but I'm not going to give it to either of them two. Who I'm going to give it to? FIFA. We want our watches back. We want our watches back. FIFA. FIFA get flop of the week for me because of what's going on off the pitch. We want our watches back. We want our watches back. We'll get into that topic probably next week. It's a shambles. But FIFA. Give honourable mention to Liverpool and Man United. You go.
Well, I have to give honourable mention to Manchester United for that second half absolute, total and complete capitulation.
What was that word?
Capitulation.
What happened?
They capitulated. And
What time is the show at right now?
Woo! I love it.
But I have to look at Mark Clattenburg, his assistants. everyone to do with having him officiate that game, having his assistants officiate that game.
Everybody wants to know what happened. What happened?
You know, the whole referee and respect campaign. Those decisions are the reason why there's no respect.
Exactly. Once again,
It's as simple as that. But my real flop of the week is Michel Platini, right? Because he says, I'm an educated person. I don't give back gifts.
We gotta hit that story next week.
I'm like,
because that is
what?
Just we were waiting to see the fallout of it, but yeah, we're gonna see the fallout of this because there's gonna be more on it in the next week. I can tell. With FIFA, it definitely is a case of.
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Wait a minute. But I don't like.
It is definitely that. Flop of the week, G-Man. You know.
Well, you know what? I didn't talk about this earlier on in grassroots because I wanted to save for now. But I'm gonna go honourable mention to Old Smith's groundsman because he was about 45 minutes late.
The groundsman. Oh my god.
Well, sorry, about 30 minutes late.
Oh my word. That's mad.
You know, so honourable mention out to him, and he turned up acting like he didn't know what was going on.
Groundsman.
Don't
What's
get
the
it.
matter with you,
But,
groundsman?
On another note, it's got to be joint Liverpool and Man United. I'm sorry, you can sit there and poke fun at Jesse, but I know when you were sitting at home on Saturday, you were praying.
I wasn't at home on Saturday.
Alright, when you was at work, sorry. When you was at work, looking at Big Booty Claire's, you know, and you know, walking by, putting those buns on the shelves and all that type of thing. You were praying, Liam. You were like, I hope.
Big Booty Claire.
What the hell is Big Booty Claire? Weren't you doing that? Weren't you doing that sort of thing on Saturday night? Don't make me bring it out.
You just use that. I hope someone loses. I hope Arsenal. I hope Man United loses. And you know what happened, Jesse. But
yeah, I know what happened.
Your dream came
Man
true.
United capitulated.
But both Man United and Liverpool can't lose to West Ham.
The TV channel started.
A big shout out to Big Booty Claire.
Ross Vernon, flop of the week. Oh wait, no, he's coming back in a minute. Tom Wood, flop of the week. Who you going for?
Says it in the chat.
It's got to be football related. Football related. One. Jesse, have a look at that. We saw that earlier. Tom Wood, who's your football related flop of the week? It's got to be football related.
Newcastle fans for giving out them banners things as well.
Not a bad shout. The whole Pardew out campaign. You might want to look at that thing it's stupid. It is stupid. It's one of them. Yeah. Wayne Schumann, flop of the week.
I was going to give it to Man United, but I'm going to give it to Liverpool. And let's see if we go for a hat trick of flop of the weeks next week.
This one thinks he's funny. Like, listen, this. Oh my god. Anyway, fun bags. Mike Harnham, flop of the week. Who you going for?
I would agree with Tom and say the Newcastle fans, and I kind of have to mention Liverpool and Man United. I kind of just have to mention it, saying that they're, I kind of guess, honourable mentions. I don't know, they kind of don't deserve either of them sort of titles, but I think Deportivo as well for conceding 8. I know it's Real Madrid, but they're playing at home, and yeah, I just hate to be a Deportivo fan right now.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Hey, I swear Mike Harnham saying I'd hate to be a Deportivo fan. I bet he thought he'd never have the chance to say that to another team. Yeah.
I didn't.
Ross Vernon, flop of the week.
My flop of the week is Manchester United and Liverpool. And I just want to quickly mention this sad news which Rotherham put out earlier. Everyone in Rotherham United and Era Pitch Talk are very saddened to hear the passing of Rotherham United supporter and Rotherham United club friend Chaz Robinson this evening. Our thoughts from Rotherham and the Pitch Talk family, all of his family and friends this evening. That was put out around about 7:25 this evening by Rotherham United.
Oh, we echo those sentiments, definitely. I mean, like we said earlier, anyone close to you passing away is one of them ones that's going to take its toll. So it's one of them ones. You know what? Yeah, it is one of them ones. We've had fun tonight, ain't we, lads?
Yeah.
We've had fun. I mean, it's one of them ones. We've had Ken Barlow texting in. We've had Big T texting in.
We had Deirdre asking about Ken.
And we got a few things from the socials to round out as well, haven't we?
Yeah. Just wanted to say another big shout out to all the Twitter crew, Facebook crew. Sheraton86 basically answered the question earlier on about Man United. Has MUFC manager LVG spent his money correctly? Are United a stronger team than they were under David Moyes? What's your views? And he's basically said needed top defenders like Hummels and midfielders like Vidal. Don't know. Would you agree with that,
The
Jesse?
Vidal thing's an interesting one because in the post-match playmaker chat there was so one of the guys was like, yeah, we'll go for better targets after not getting Vidal. So
well, the Vidal thing is very, very interesting because there are rumours of him re-injuring his knee just after the end of the transfer window. In terms of the top targets, in terms of central defenders, you've got Benatia, who went to Bayern, Hummels, who stayed at Borussia Dortmund. So, I mean, after those two, I mean, I know that City got Mangala, but who else was there? Aside of those three, where you could go and say, yeah, legitimately, and even Mangala, he still has a lot to prove in terms of his true pedigree. So, again, the
OWR right there.
The pickings were actually slim. So, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens in January. I think there will be more editions in January, but that's it. That's really all there is to say about it right now. Maybe there could have been a bid for Dante, but when you're looking at that Bayern Munich defense now, you've got three very, very good centre backs, two very, very good ones, and one legitimate world class. So, any two out of those three would go into most teams times two.
Well, you know what? Staying with Man United, we've got some stuff on the socials about that point as well.
Yeah, taking the most serious one first, because we know Big T's in there as well.
Yeah.
Taking the serious one first, big shout out to Jennifer Evans, who has said Jamie Carragher labelled Van Gaal's spending in the summer transfer window as mismanagement. Man United were the biggest spenders in Europe during the summer transfer window, yet they failed to purchase even one defender, knowing full well they were going to be losing Rio Ferdinand and Vidic. No one can really be shocked that they are now leaking goals big time.
But didn't Man United buy 3 defenders?
Rojo.
Rojo, Shaw. Sure, there was one more.
Or you classifying Blind as a defender?
Well, he could be. Right, there's an interesting fight going on up there. I don't think a Daddy Longlegs and a Spider, and I think the Spider's winning. Wait.
Wow.
Anyway,
Wow,
nature taking its course. Sorry.
It's arms, bro.
Well, in terms of what you can take from that, basically.
The Spider's having him.
Nature taking its course. Later, it is a proper scrap. If we could film this, we would.
What you can take from that is say established defenders.
Yeah.
That's what I think maybe where she's coming from, because Luke Shaw, had one good season, and he's at Man United now, where he's been put.
Size
done him.
Size doesn't.
He's been put on a new fitness regime, and
he's gonna get wrapped up. Sorry.
The rumor has it that Van Gaal doesn't really trust him, and at the moment, that's just a rumor though.
Wait, it's back on.
My gosh.
Wait. Sorry, we were just, that is nature taking its course in the PTC.
At the end of the show.
Sorry, G-Man, you were saying, sorry.
We are at the end of the show, and they are buoying the Skypers for
No.
Gosh.
Look, it was Spider versus Dragonfly. Yeah?
Well, that was Manchester United versus Leicester right now. And Manchester United, let's
Yes! Brilliant.
No, that's
That
classic.
is brilliant.
That's classic.
That is brilliant. But the points on,
Yeah,
on the
please.
socials, that's right.
Now, what do you think Jennifer had to say about it?
No.
You were saying about they did buy defenders.
Jennifer, thank you very much to the point. Love having interactions on the show. Please get in touch. Any talk football 24/7. In regards to this, an experienced defender would have helped massively, but it kind of goes back to my point about Benatia and Hummels in terms of those, absolutely proven defenders that absolute quality. There weren't many that were actually available, and even of the ones that were available, you have to ask the question: did they want to go to Manchester United without Champions League football? No. So, there really isn't much more than that. When you look at Benatia, he left Roma and went to arguably one of the best clubs in the world right now, in terms of one of the clubs that have absolutely dominated domestically, are very, very good in Europe. So he left for the right reasons. In terms of would he be able to have had that same offer at Manchester United? Honestly, no, because there's no European football. Did Manchester United dominate domestically? Not since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. So, is there any major appeal to that move? Honestly, I can see why he would say no. So, I understand the point, but in terms of who was available and who wasn't available, I don't think the quality that you're talking about was available. Having said that, though, again, I think the players need time. And, with Phil Jones being injured, I think Phil Jones is arguably Manchester United's most important central defender. Him being injured and showing his injury-prone ability, if I can coin that into a phrase, isn't helping Manchester United right now either. So I think once he gets back fit, I think once Donny Evans sorts himself out, once mentally the defense is sorted out and the coaching side of that, the technical side of that is all sorted out, be absolutely fine.
Oh, no, great response. But you know what? Big T has a response to that as well. But if you want to see that, go to the Pitch Talk FB wall. He's got a couple of responses, but I'm going to read out one of his the other ones to end the show on because I think it's absolutely hilarious. We asked the question: Ole Gunnar Solskjaer resigned from Cardiff. How do you rate his tenure at the Welsh club? Big T is basically saying, like a session between myself and two women 60 years plus. Sure. In a seriousness, though, I disagree with the sacking G-Man Henry for the vacant manager's position. The guy's experience and taking over Man United from for Christ's sakes. What more do you need? Vincent Tan, pull your finger out and get this guy in the seat now.
I love that. After he's already taken over United with our April Fool's video as well. I love it.
Tell them about your record.
Well, recently I was England manager, because I started FB Football Manager the other day, just to let you know. And I've kind of changed my roles, because I decided not to do what every other England manager does,
JB Smooth. This is how I do it.
And basically use the same old guard. I started to use new guards. I started to put Raheem Sterling in there. And if you understand Football Manager, you have to understand Football Manager. His stats ain't that good, so he doesn't really feature in the team that well under other managers. Raheem Sterling.
Okay, fair enough.
But started to throw him in there. I started to throw Prowse in there. I started to throw Shaw in there, Chambers. And I just noticed, that these young talents were just doing the business. But I got to the semi-finals of the World Cup, and unfortunately I lost to Brazil. But what do you expect? But no excuse. That was very poor because in tournament competition, I understand why people get upset, because if you're beating other teams like Italy and Honduras along the way, you expect to be beating Brazil.
Exactly. So we got to give the G-Man's England team
-5 stars.
Because Brazil know what happened to them in the World Cup.
Yeah. But having said that, though, if Vincent Tan still wants to take a punt, he's available.
And the first thing I want to do is sign Lukaku. And
see, he hasn't got a lookalike for me. It's tremendous.
Oh no, I have a lookalike. The lookalike.
Oh no,
Charles and Zogbia. Big shout out to Chris Hutchinson, by the way. Chris Hutchinson came up with that one.
Yes, that is classic.
But you know what? It is time.
It is time, Charles.
It is. Shut up. Romelu, shut up. This is one of them ones. The fact of the matter is, it is time for us to vacate the place with a haste. So, we give a quick wave. We got to give a quick wave. And thank you for joining us to everybody. And you know what? It's time for...
Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam, and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rod Perez. My name is Christian Carambeau.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former chairman of Ibis FC.
I'm Samir Sawhney, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening
And you're listening to Pitch Talk.
Yeah, we've been your Monday Night Footballing Fix. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJ, the G-Man and Jesse Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions, because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
And also, the pitch is where we will be having two very special guests. Mr. John Sitton, former manager of Leyton Orient, and also a former player for Chelsea, Gillingham, and Leyton Orient too. It's one of them ones. We're going to have him and the ghost writer of his book, Mr. Vernon Grant of VG Tips, vgtips.co.uk, if you want horse betting and football betting tips. It's one of them was vgtips.co.uk. We're going to be having Mr. John Sitton and Vernon Grant in this studio next week. So tell a friend, tell many a friend, and tune in. We have been your Monday Night Footballing Fix. www.pitch-talk.com is the official website. Pitch-talk.com. YouTube.com/Pitch Talk for all the videos, including Pitch Talk on the road, Pitch Talk meets, and much, much more. Also, pitchtalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk for the blogs. Oh my God, myspace.com/Pitch Talk. Hey, facebook.com/Pitch Talk as well. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group, and comment on everything. Comment and like everything. You know what? It is one of them ones we've had a lot of fun on tonight. So big shout out to Mike Harneman, big shout out to Russ Vernon, Wayne Schumann, Tom Wood. Big shout out to Ibis Football Club, Porter Soccerbility, Parkgate FC, and Stephen Is Ladies FC as well. Many, many more shout outs. Of course, Ibis FC deserves a big, huge shout out. And it is one of them ones. Remember, we will be back next Monday live again with two special guests. But you know what? It is one of them ones. At Pitch Talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we're up to. 07535804466. Big shout outs to Ken Barlow and Big T, aka Thomas Hewitt, for texting us during the show. 07535804466. Remember, you can add us on Skype, Pitch Talk 1. Oh my God, what a show it's been. Big shout out to Motivate Sports and Fitness, Girls on the Ball. Big shout outs to Manisha Taylor and her venture, Swaggerlicious. Also, a big shout out to the Section 357 show. But it has to be said, the last shout out has to go to Thin White Line Magazine. Big shout out to Ian Kerr and Thin White Line Magazine. I have been Straight Shooting LJA.
And I have been Roger Miller.
And I have been Jesse Fizzle.
Thank you very much, people. Good night.